Camera's rolling.
Baby, I'm too young to know any better, but I guess I'm just too old to care. I'm waiting on the morning light to clear the air. Now the sky is hung with regret, letting go that you pay black. All the silence that keep me coming back. I'm the one that you hated. You know, the one you didn't want to believe. The one that you hated. Take a look at it now. I'm the one that you created. The one that you hated. Now the sky is hung with regret, letting go that you pay black. All the silence that keep me coming back. I'm the one that you hated. You know, the one you didn't want to believe. The one that you hated. Take a look at it now. I'm the one that you.
What is going on, everybody? It's the weekend. It's Saturday. It's time to do dad talk. Man, this feels awkward, dude. It feels like I haven't done this in a while.
It's like putting on an old shoe for me. I don't know about you. I mean, it's like, yeah. Got
Yeah.
that, or well-worn underwear. I don't know. I mean, whatever analogy you want to use, it just feels like kind of coming home again. So I know we've been out for a while. It was like, but I don't know. For me, anyway, it's kind of like just stepping right back in.
Yeah, dude.
All good.
It's nice. I was telling you, look out next week, guys. I just had a show that was really cool for me. I got to be a little bit of a fanboy.
Yeah.
Was on a show with two UFC Hall of Famers, Dan Severn and Don Fry. I felt very weak sitting on that show with them. Like my mustache isn't quite strong.
I was going to ask, was it Dan and his mustache, or are they showing up at different times? Because
he brought it with him, dude. It was
brought it with him.
Yeah.
I wish we had a picture to throw up on screen, but yeah, that guy had like the stash. He had like the 80s, 90s stash. It was like, you knew he was in the room. It was like Tom Selleck and I'm trying to think who else like had a love child. And then, or I think it was Tom Selleck and a caterpillar had a love child, and that was his stash. I don't know.
You heard from Don every once in a while, and it was like, "Hey, kid," you're like, "Dude, why couldn't I have a voice like that?" Just the voice is intimidating.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, he was very like intimidating, but apparently a nice guy. I mean, behind the scenes,
they are, dude.
That's the good thing about him. He was good with people, kids, and all that. Played the role well, and his stash. I don't know. I mean, every time I saw him, I was like, that stash. I mean, if I could, I was, prepubescent. I was like, God, I want to be just like him when I grow up. And this is what happened. So,
it was interesting because we talk about the myth of toxic masculinity on here. And the first time I met Dan was at a movie premiere. And the second time I met him was at a booth where he was holding up a sign and it said, "Ask me about toxic masculinity." That's awesome, dude. He's out here talking about, some of the same issues. That's the name of their podcast.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, it was really cool, but it showed me how rusty I've been, dude. It's been a while. I mean, guys, we've been going all over the country. I have some major media coming out for everybody. And all I can say is I hope everybody supports it because we put everything we've got into it, man. And,
the stuff is top notch from a video production perspective. It is like some top notch stuff there, and the quality of it. Just the way everything worked, it beautifully done. The subject matter is hard hitting. Within 2 seconds what it's about and what's going to happen, and then you're just drawn into the story. And that's just from the trailer.
Oh yeah, dude. You learn more each time you do it. I mean, from the first time we did I Stand With John, that was probably the most challenging one because we didn't have a budget, and two, it was the first one we had ever made.
Yeah.
So it was trying to find out all the different pieces in it. And most people, when they make documentaries, they'll have like scripts that tell them what they're going to be doing.
Oh yeah.
That just never seems to work out with Dad Talk. a couple of weeks ago, I got to the point. I've been watching Jeff Younger's story for a while now about them
Yeah.
wanting to castrate his son, transition his son.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are afraid to touch that subject. And I know why. We have the cancel culture. If you've got a business or any little thing you do, if you speak up against these people, they will try to cancel you. No doubt, dude. Go check out the Instagram and the people that are showing up on those trailers. But it was one of those things that just hit me. And I was like, dude, this is not a time to be comfortable. We have to be able to speak up and say what is on our minds, because if not, that's how it just keeps getting to the place that it's getting right now. It's getting worse.
Yeah.
And so we went into that thinking we had a plan. And then the night before, I think day 4, we were supposed to be filming, somebody called us and it's like, dude, they actually got a bill being voted on at the Texas Capitol the next day about blocking these type of surgeries for kids. And he's like, oh, okay, well, crap, dude, we were in Dallas, so we got like a 4-hour ride to Austin, but I wouldn't take it back. Dude, the stuff that I saw there, guys, I mean, you'll have to see it in video, but even video is not going to be able to do it justice. Seeing how organized that movement, which is kind of a fringe, a smaller movement, right?
Right.
But probably the most organized movement, grassroots people I have seen in my life. I mean, they were in sync with each other. Every little step of the way, they knew what was going on. And at the end of the day, everybody got kicked out of the Capitol, which was good for them because it delayed the vote.
Right.
It just made me realize again, dude, like how far off, we as fathers, people that are, fighting against this issue are when it comes to organizing. And yes, guys, I give you a pass. I know a lot of people are at work and doing the best they can, but these people aren't.
And they have, captured the minds of our youth. I saw some of those clips. I didn't have the cojones to go down there because it was, but these kids, it looked, their eye, you were there. You could probably describe it better than I could ever do just from watching the video, but it looked like they were possessed. I almost hate to use that word, but
100%, dude. There is a look in the eye. And every person I interviewed, we had Riley Gaines on, the collegiate swimmer that lost to Leah Thomas, a biological man. But then we also had on Walt Heyer. He spent 5 years as a transgender because his doctor told him to. It was crazy, dude. Now he speaks out against it and what they try to do to people. But they said the same thing. There is this look in the eyes that you just can't explain. It was like nobody's there anymore.
Yeah.
They are, but it's not them. And to see some of those kids just fighting for this, that I don't believe it's so much that they're fighting for that cause. What I was seeing with a lot of those kids, it looks like they just wanted somewhere to be a part of, somewhere to fit in.
Right.
They're
lost. All these kids are lost now. They're looking for a way to fit in, to be a part of something bigger than themselves. That's what we kind of, in ways, all want. And unfortunately, they have fallen into this and they've been wrapped up in it. I think back to, the Kennedy years of, being, not ask not what you can do for your country, ask what your country can do for, I'm sorry, that's the new verse, the reverse of that. People would volunteer and become part of a larger movement to better the world. But since with the loss of fathers and the nuclear family, these kids are just, out there. And it started in the 70s and 80s, latchkey kids and kids not having their parents. And then they get involved in all this, drug crimes and all this other stuff. And then, here we are today. And then on top of that, we have people that don't push back against the narrative. And when that happens, these people go, okay, well, this becomes a new line. We're going to go ahead and push it a little bit further and a little bit further. Can you imagine 30 years ago, this type of stuff happening? No, not a chance.
Oh, and I'm not putting down these people because they meant well and they gave support at the same time. There was a group there pushing back at the Capitol, decent sized group. But once this started going on and everybody got kicked out of the Capitol, they left. And so the other movements out there on the steps, cheering and everything. And I was like, dude, you just gave them what they want. What's going on here? Man, like my view of what's going on in the world definitely changed. And I think sometimes, getting away from your home and seeing
Right.
what's going on in other places, because now I can come back home, and I've tried several times since I've been here, like trying to tell people what was going on, what I saw, and they can't grasp it because they
Yeah.
haven't seen it. Right. Even like I had to give an apology to Younger. After that, we went and met up with Younger the next day, and I was like, dude, there were several times you were sitting there talking to me, telling me how things operate, the whole 9 yards. And I was like, I didn't understand a thing
You
that
have
you were
no
saying.
idea.
Sounds like conspiracy theory. I'm just being honest with you. And I was like, then I get there and verbatim, everything you said, you can see it. And when
Yep.
we left, dude, things just kept clicking as the night would go on. And me and the production crew would just be bouncing it off each other. Did you see this? Did you see this? Man, it's crazy. It's crazy. I mean, how are we even at a point in time where we're saying surgeries on minor kids that will completely alter their life for the rest of their life
Right.
is a thing? We're here.
Yeah.
We're here,
talking
guys.
about
And it's coming quick.
And it's time for people to wake up and start pushing back against the narrative. I mean, we can push back against a certain alcoholic beverage company. We can push back against this. We've just got to get people involved. If anyone has not watched the trailer for that, again, the documentary is coming up soon. But I don't know if they intentionally did this, and again, that could be a production secret. But go back and watch the trailer and see if you can pick out certain things that are being done by some of the folks there. I'll just go ahead and throw out a little hint: hand signals and code words. Again, tinfoil hat me all you want. I picked up on it.
Well, it's kind of crazy, dude, because I don't think me and you have really gotten to talk since I've been gone until today.
You've been getting those frequent flyer miles.
Yeah, I definitely have. But so when I was there, I was told to meet up with somebody from one of the groups that was trying to press back against this. And so we was all in the House chamber. They walked over there to meet me. And sit down and start talking to me. And they're telling me what was going on that day. And I'm telling them about the film. Well, one of my camera guys comes up and knocks me on the shoulder and was like, Eric, look in front of you. There he is. I got to watch my mouth here.
Yeah.
There's one on the other side, okay, with a phone recording me over their shoulder.
Yep.
And I look at her and I'm like, shh. Well, dude, no lie. We get up, I walk out, and I've got pictures of them doing this. As soon as I walk out of the room, they're taking pictures of me.
Yep.
Then go and get in my camera guy's face. What film are you making? The only way they would have known that was from the recording. And I was like, oh, dude, they're not playing around.
If people think that, this is all tinfoil hat and they're delusional. I mean, these guys, just from I wasn't there. I just saw some of the video clips, and I'll make the assumption it was just accidental. The code words, the hand pointing signals, those things alone. I mean, I got goosebumps. I mean, it's some next level crazy.
After we caught the recording and they put the phone up, she looks across and starts going.
Yeah.
Like that. And they're literally doing hand signals at each other.
Yeah.
It was crazy because I don't think it was just that group. I have to go back to the politicians. The politicians' part in this. They were absolutely 100% a part of this.
Yeah.
My opinion, Facebook, Zuckerberg, or whoever wants. But, I mean, I could give you the evidence because we went with cameras. And that's one of the things, again, why I'm asking you, make sure you follow us on Substack. I know that the traditional channels that we have operated Dad Talk on might not be as friendly to some of the stuff that we were wanting to show you. But we got some footage with the cameras, dude, that I don't know that anybody's gotten before. And it's quite scary. That's just one of the issues, man. It's just one of the issues going on. During that time, we also released a mini documentary, Nobody Listened, about Glenn Terry. For nobody that's ever followed that story. Went through a horrific custody battle, went through allegations of sexual abuse, physical abuse, STDs even. She was saying he had STDs and could prove that he didn't. One day he ends up in a car wreck, and when he looks back to see who hit him, it was his ex who was on the phone saying that he was stalking her and wrecked into her. So he loses even more time with his kid. And when he goes back to court, finally, the judge said, I need to question this, looks at the camera and sees that she was the one that hit him. And so he's going to win custody of his kid, but they told her she had 1 week to give the child to him. And that was the point that he said, look, if you don't give me custody of my son, she's going to kill him. The cops, CPS, attorneys, the judges told him, if you don't go get my son right now, she's going to kill him. 1 week later, when they went to get the kid, that was exactly what happened. And so those stories, I'm trying to get it in a high quality form where it's condensed down enough for people that don't understand the issues that we're going through, guys, to see and to educate on what's really going on. That's sad. Here is a father. The system could have been proactive, but they were reactive. And it's not even reactive. The only thing that he has to show of his family law battle is in that box, which is his son's ashes. That's the only thing he got out of fighting in the family law courts. He's got his ashes. I think he said he spent like 6 days with him out of a whole year. That was the only amount of time that he had. Sick, dude. It's sick. And there's no shortage of stories. There was a story that broke like a week ago about a father that got killed by a boyfriend in Virginia. I was on the phone with their family last night. He's having his funeral. They're having his funeral today.
Right.
Dude just busted up in the house and started shooting the kid.
Yeah.
29 years old, man, had 3 kids. It's going to take us, at the end of the day, speaking up and not being afraid to say what needs to be said. And is cancellation or censorship and all that going to come? Yeah. Dude, look at my page right now and how many people follow this page and how many people will be allowed to view it. It's going to come. That means we re-strategize, we restructure, and we keep going. That's my plan anyway.
Well, we got to get people, liking, sharing, subscribing, adding in, taking those few seconds to do that, sharing the content and getting that out into the public square. One of the things I've been kind of beating my drum on for the last decade is, 1 or 2 people aren't going to get it done. It's got to be the larger population getting out there and getting this in front of people's faces a lot and being able to say it in a way that is not going to offend or / turn people off, but get people to then take action. That's just the long and the short of it. I wish I had a better way of saying that. That's the only way it's going to happen. We can tell, Glenn Terry's story. We can tell all the other stories that are out there. I'm actually at a loss trying to remember all the names. But until people, share that, watch it, share it, talk about it, we're not going to change the hearts and minds of people.
Well, I think that's different. See, we burnt the candle at both ends trying to get this stuff out on the podcast and through social media. And it was like, I've got a couple of options here. I can tuck my head between my legs and leave because I've literally burnt myself out. Or I can change the way I do things. I don't have to be on camera. Let me put these guys on camera. And it's certain stories, unfortunately, because of the mainstream media and how they sensationalize everything, it's certain stories that get the people's attention. And so we're not going around trying to cherry pick anything, but at the same time, it's like, okay, you want sensational? Let me show you what the family courts are doing. Here you go. We'll show you this story. This make the hair on the back of your neck stand up. And, it's also about showing no matter what father it is, what story it is, they're always going to try to discredit it in some manner.
Right.
And it's about, just showing all the different angles of like, you can't take up for this right here, man. I mean, the surprising thing to me, we're going in completely different areas with this, is the amount of people that support this happening to Younger's kid.
Yeah, I mean, being in Texas and seeing it on the news or not on the news every day, the level of people that support this is mind-boggling, because you hear the stories about Texas, we're rootin' tootin' cowboys and conservative values and all that, but when you do the deep dive, I won't go too far into it because I know I don't want to get you banned off all the social media platforms. But the comment you made about the legislators, I would invite everyone to dig into that a little bit more.
Don't take my word for it. We're not
Oh,
saying it's 100% gospel. Go look for yourself and you tell me your opinion. That's what I would say. And it's sad that I can't just say what I really want to say, you know? But we sat there and watched it, dude.
Hmm?
And it was like the second somebody threw a banner down on the house floor and it was protect, trans
Right.
kids. Oh, everybody's got to leave. Well, check this out. Here's what'll make it even matter. It was only them that did this. So on one side of the house floor, you're not allowed to stand at all, not even for a break. And you got this much room in between the chairs. How anybody can sit in those damn things, I have no idea. But if you stand up or anything, you're going to get ejected. So on one side of the house floor, person stands up, starts chanting. The Texas police start coming after them. She turns around nonchalantly and just starts walking out peacefully. She already knew she was going to get ejected.
Right.
The whole left side of the house floor stands up together in sync, throws banners off of the side, which is also a big no-no.
Right.
And dude, the second that happened, it was kind of funny. I watched one of the Texas guys just get one of them. Bam! It was like, get out of here. But when they throw them out, you've been there before at the Texas Capitol, right, Dwayne?
Yep.
It's up on the third floor. You have to walk in this one door, and then it's a square like corridor that everybody has to sit. So everybody's going to have to walk to this side of the room and then go out the door. So they take the people that caused it to get shut down, walk them right outside that door, and put 2 barriers up and let them stand behind these 2 barriers where everybody that was peaceful, that was protesting against this happening, had to walk through the middle and have people screaming in their face, dude.
Yeah.
And I was like, at what point did we say this was okay or not try to stop it? Again, it's all on camera.
Yeah.
But it just makes you think. It's like, this seems much more coordinated and planned than I think these people could just actually pull off by themselves. So.
Yeah, I mean, I tinfoil had a lot of this stuff. The fact that they don't start their meetings until 2, 3 in the afternoon when they know people that would be, more inclined to either oppose or agree with it, or they have to go to work or get back to their family, so they can't stick around to voice their concerns or talk about anything. It seems like they're getting help. I'll just.
Oh, 100%, dude. I mean, they was there for a week at the Capitol, and then they could show up every day. Now, a lot of these other guys, the working class, they took off that day to be there. Are they going to be able to show up tomorrow and the next day and the next day? No, they got to pay for bills. Have you been living in this country? Have you seen the inflation Jesus Christ, you can't take off of work.
Yeah.
So they know how to outlast you. I mean, it's the same as, family law courts. If somebody thinks they got money, they'll just outspend you until you can't fight no more.
Yeah, hook in the mouth. Yeah. Well, our JJFI group, I won't get into any of the details, but they would start their the discussion period at 2, 3, 4 in the afternoon, but tell them to show up at 9 a.m. So you got guys driving 4, 5, 6, 12 hours, whatever, get to get to the Capitol to voice their opposition or their agreement with a particular item, but then they wouldn't start. They say they've been starting at 9. They wouldn't start until 3 or 4 in the afternoon. Well, this guy's been sitting there all day waiting for his 2 or 3 minutes to talk. And he's like, yeah, forget this. I'm out of here. And then, of course, when they all leave, then they say, oh, well, no one was here to oppose it or to agree with it. Whatever the bill is, let's go ahead and move forward. And then sometimes it doesn't even matter. Oh, we got is that a super chat?
Yeah,
thank you, Ben.
So mentioned it on the episode with Carnell. Ex without a state hubby filed for full legal. Absolutely waxed her lawyer on my own motion denied. I hope you got all his back hair, dude. Made him scream.
That's good. Yeah, there was one. Speaking of Carnell, there's one that just came out recently. There was the UFC fighter, his girlfriend, not his wife. They don't have kids together. She has filed for half of his assets because they dated for like a year or two. He's a UFC fighter, a very popular UFC fighter. I mean, that's where we're getting with this crazy nonsense.
I haven't seen that one, dude.
Oh yeah. Oh, I'll have to pull that one up. It is crazy. Yeah, it just came out a couple days ago. It's a popular UFC fighter dating this girl for like a year. They didn't live together, not married, no children, no nothing. She has filed for half of his UFC assets because they dated for a while, for a year. I just can't do it anymore.
Father X here on YouTube said, was there a vote in Texas on that bill? How did it end up? If I'm not wrong, they went for it several more times. It kept getting pushed back, and they just recently passed it.
It did get passed.
I think it did finally get passed. And dude, they've only been trying it for 4 years. So they delayed it quite a while, but I think that's a couple of states now. Steve Sues, he's 100% correct. He said, announce for 9 a.m., start at 4 p.m., go on until 8:30, and also without the substituted bill. I mean, we saw that too. You know, dude, that's the tricks that the legislation plays. Let me just tell you guys, I'm going to tell you right now, all the things that I believe and like about the legislation and politicians.
We'll wait.
I mean, I was waiting to see if you had anything to say.
Yeah, they spend our tax dollars really well. I don't know. I'm trying to think of. I mean, every once in a while, there's a bill. I won't name it specifically because I think the person, that wants to wait until a certain point. But there was a bill they, jumped onto that is actually a good bill for families, and it has moved through. Unfortunately, there is a slew of them that are also passing, which will not be good for parents in the Lone Star State here. But in other states, there's a bunch of others. But the way our legislative process works, I've shown people. There was actually, if you go to the Texas Capitol, their website, and every state has their own, but it shows the flow chart of how a bill gets passed. And one is ridiculous. Two, it doesn't even follow that flow chart, which is a whole different topic I'm not even allowed to talk about. But the way our bills work is just ridiculous. There's one. We actually had a bill, and this may be news to some folks. We had a bill that they introduced that would, just make sure I state it correctly, that a woman can be pregnant, be on meth, crack, cocaine, any illegal substance, and CPS, doctors, police officers do not have a duty to report them.
Okay, say that again. You just twisted my head.
A woman can be on whatever drugs, whatever it is, marijuana, all the way up to meth, whatever it is. And in the old days, or the way it is now, is if a woman is sitting there talking to her doctor, talking to a CPS agent, talking to a therapist, any medical professional or police officer, and says, yes, I'm on meth right now and I'm pregnant, they have a duty to report her to the state, and then to have the process work itself out. A bill was introduced, and this is the second time it was introduced, that would remove the requirement to report that person to the authorities.
Another form of abortion, maybe?
No. They didn't want to harm. Yeah, they didn't want to hurt the girl's feelings in admitting this. Admitting that she was on drugs.
So that reminds me of the Alec Larson case. That's one of the documentaries we got coming up, guys. And it's looking amazing. But 5-year-old daughter, Sophia, wakes up in mama's house, drinks that bottle of water, thinking it's a bottle of water, and it was her mom's meth, and ended up killing her. They had every opportunity to take her to the hospital, and I won't even get into the details. It's pretty sick on that. But I heard, she ended up dying. One of the things that was getting mentioned in that to prevent stuff like that is, well, we'll say for the parents that if they take the kid to the hospital right away, there will be no consequences. So more cases like this won't happen. I understand where they're coming from with that.
Yeah.
But it's like, would it not make much more or a lot more sense to make sure that a parent that's doing something like that does not have custody of the child?
You would think.
Yeah. There was definitely signs leading up to that. But dude, some of the bills, I think it was last year, I couldn't believe it when I very first started reading it. The state of Maryland was trying to pass a bill that if a mom didn't have an abortion, and then after 6 weeks of the child being born, if they wanted to starve it or neglect it or whatever, and the child died from neglect, as long as it was within that 6 weeks of after the child being born, there's nothing you could do.
Right.
I had one of the senators come on to tell everybody about it. They've been trying to get this bill through for a couple of years. I was like, what? This is just the bull crap that these are the people that we're going to and asking to clean up this system? Really?
Yeah. I still remember back in the 90s, there was the head of the ethics commission at Princeton. He actually, that was his thesis, that was his position, is that perfectly healthy baby, the parents have up to, I think it was 30 days or 60 days to determine if they wanted to terminate that child. And there would be no consequences for doing it. This is what happens when we let people think and have spare time. They think of this crazy stuff.
So I want to go in with the smoke and mirrors part of this. Father X, you got another good question. So it's outlawed in Texas to do surgeries on kids. Yes, but what good does that do at the end of the day? Colorado has become a sanctuary state, and I don't even want to say that because it promotes it. But it doesn't mean that you can't do it. You just can't do it there. Right. And if I'm being honest with you, I don't care if they're red or blue, if they had a Republican or a Democrat beside their name. I don't care what their party affiliation is. This has been going on with Jeff Younger for over 4 years. If they wanted to do something, especially that governor, he's been the governor the whole time during this case. People have been in his ear, Mr. Greg Abbott. If they wanted to do something about it, they could have done something a very long time ago. I honestly believe they were afraid that if they stepped in, Younger would get to speak because people would want to know, well, what was his story? How did it get here? And he's not going to go lightly on the family court.
Oh, no.
He's not, to the point that, he ran as a Republican and the Republican establishment went and gave $3 million to his challenger.
Yeah.
What does that say to you? It was like, we don't want anybody in here that will actually fight. And so I think, not only I feel so sorry for that guy because not only did he have the family courts on his back, but he had politics. His kid was being used as a political pawn. And it just shows you how the courts and the politician and the legislations are just so intermingled with each other, dude. They're closer to each other than I could ever explain.
Well, that's a hook in the mouth. There are so many. If you don't know who Jeff Younger is, I almost want to say, good on you, because his story, what he's went through, and his son and his family is just words can't even describe it. But this guy he's done everything right. He has fought in the courts and has been summarily knocked down every single time. He has said, you know what, I'm going to change the laws. He went in and put his hat in the ring and tried to do that. His own political party pushed back against him, $3 million to a relatively unknown challenger. He went to speak at colleges. He was spit on, threatened. They had to call the police in. Everyone
broke his rib.
Yeah, I mean,
he literally broke his rib.
It is.
Well, and here's the thing. This guy wants you to also see how powerful this movement's becoming, because within our movement forever, we've been talking about how feminists have all this power. All right. So it's one thing for it to happen to Jeff. I don't think it really surprises us, as disgusting as it is. But dude, they just did the same thing to Riley Gaines.
Yeah.
A female.
Yeah.
She went to speak at a college, just like Jeff Younger went to do at UNT.
Yep.
Came in, rushed the room, turned the lights off, beat the crap out of her.
Yep.
For speaking what she's got to say. And guess who got away with it? He got away with this on openly attacking a female and having it on camera. So the feminist, McFly.
Where y'all at?
I'm going to tell you, I think you're really going to regret this, because it seems like you're about to get a taste of what the men have been going through. Men were the very first target. They were. We needed to get the fathers out of the home. We needed to create the business. But I believe that the feminists are about to get a taste of this from other people. It's crazy that we talk about protecting women's rights, but yet, you know what? If I wanted to disrespect a woman, I can say I'm something different and go kick their ass in sports right now.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It is insane. And again, it just goes back to the people need to say we're done and get in the fight. The days of being complacent and caring more about, other things, unfortunately, is over. We have to stand up and start pushing back. And we don't have to do that much. Like, share, subscribe, show the numbers, push back, get it in the public square. Because a lot of these times when you finally get a chance to talk to someone that's not so far gone and reason with them, there are times they'll come back around because everyone believes what they see on CNN and the major news networks. They take it as the gospel. And the people that are in there are rewording everything to fit a narrative. If we can get people to go out there and talk to these people and educate them, they'll see it for what it is, and then they'll, hopefully we'll start changing this.
I feel like I'm talking in circles with it sometimes, but we are actually stronger than most people know. We are stronger than they want you to realize. The problem is they've made people afraid to speak to the point that people are only seeing this one message being portrayed, and then the ones that are against it or that would work with each other are thinking that they are isolated. But it's not until somebody steps up and starts speaking that you realize just how many people we outnumber them big time, dude. And I got to give a lot of that to Matt Walsh, dude. When he made that documentary, I think that was an eye opener for a lot of people. It's like, dude, this guy's saying what I've been wanting to say for a very long time. But if I said that, my life would be a living hell. You become a target for speaking the truth nowadays. And you just can't be afraid of that, man. You cannot be afraid of it. I think it would be a good time for anybody that hasn't seen the Saving James preview to show them this off the Substack. And I can explain when we was talking about the riot. I was wanting to say something. I don't know if I can do.
Choose your words carefully.
Yeah, maybe not. All right, let me get on here.
Get on Substack, everybody. Sign up for Substack.
Yeah, let me make sure I got us let me get us at the bottom of the screen.
There we go.
Here we go, and I want you guys to see the resistance that was there.
Oh, you're a boy, right?
No, I'm a girl.
Who told you you're a girl?
Mommy.
I don't know that I've ever experienced anything like this in my life. I had so many thoughts going through my head while at that Capitol. Our world is in a place where it doesn't seem like anybody tries to find a middle ground anymore. It does seem like people are trying to push their beliefs on the kids. And somebody's got to stand up against it. When anybody else had anything to say or tried to talk, they just got louder and shut it down. Because I don't know if they want to engage in actual conversation. I've seen this kind of stuff on video, but my respect for Jeff just went through the roof because I watched when he was at UNT and he did that. I had a few people there backing him up, but he didn't back down from him one bit.
I've just decided that in my own life, I'm not backing down from these people. And, if they want to scrap, we'll scrap.
We can't be comfortable. Right now is not the time to be comfortable. We are living in a point in time in this society unlike anything we've ever seen. And my first thought is, how many of these kids actually had a father? There's some of those kids who just look possessed, man. Like it's something that's taking control of their body. This is the next big thing that is about to hit family law, that's about to hit this country. And I don't know if our people's ready for it yet. They know it's coming, but they don't know just how quickly it's coming and how big it's going to be.
You get goosebumps every time I see
Gives
that
me
video.
chills, just like, so I'm not going to be a very big part of that. When we wanted to get a trailer out just to show people, I had did a few live videos that day to show people the chaos that was going on at the Capitol. And all I kept getting was like, what in the world's going on? Nobody knew. And I was saying it was bad, but I don't think people understand how bad it was.
Right.
You remember when I was telling you about them giving them the barricades and making the people walk through the middle? That was that guy. He was pointing at people in their faces. You're a pedophile. You're a pedophile. And dude, just letting them gaslight and say anything they want.
Yeah.
And my mind was blown. I mean, I knew it was bad. I've seen the UNT videos and stuff like that, but it's just my respect for Jeff Younger hit the roof. And I understand, some people might not know how to take Jeff because he's became like just very stern, very blunt. And now, like, seeing this, I understand even more of why he's got to be. Watching him at UNT in front of those kids, not backing down, cheering them on, telling them, get louder. He showed the world what was going on behind the scenes before anybody else did.
Right.
I don't know, dude. I believe it when I say it, that this is the next big thing about Hit Family Law. Since I released that trailer, I've had numerous emails of fathers saying this is happening to their kids. And look, man, I'm sure there's going to be cases of where it happens on the other side. So far, I haven't seen any. I have not seen a case where it's a father trying to do this to a mother. I've seen it where it's single moms trying to do this to their sons or their daughters.
Right.
And they end up in a legal battle where even more, you think family court is expensive now. Add on all these therapists and supervised visitations, doctors and all this other stuff. Dude, it is about to hit and it's going to rock this nation like a hurricane.
That's not a Scorpion song. Yeah,
it is not.
I can give you one guy that's doing it to a girl. It's actually, you won't see it in the mass media because the person is actually blocking it. But I don't know if you know who Mr. Beast is.
Yeah.
Okay. He had part of his guy group. They're all guys. Well, one of them has decided to transition. And without getting into the details, because I know we're on the platforms that you're on, some of them are more sensitive than others. There is a picture of his child with a 2-year-old child with girls' heels on, and he's talking about doing stuff. So it's happening.
Dude, this gets me so pissed off. I want to say, because I know doing what we're doing, the biggest post I ever had in the history of Dad Talk was where I was talking about these issues, and everybody from the trans community showed up. It's like 80,000 something comments on that post. Dude. And I would tell you, if any of those ends up watching, dude, if you're an adult, I don't think you're going to hear from anybody. Do I agree with it then? I mean, no, right. That's why I am who I am, but I'm not the judge of your life by no means. Yeah. I'm not trying to say what you need to do or what you don't need to do. But when we are talking about little children, okay, this is wrong. And it's wrong on every single level. If you look at the blockers and stuff that these kids are having to be put on, how it sterilizes them. There's so many things. And if it was, the biggest argument that was against it is if you don't do it at a young age, their risk of deletion goes up higher. Well, here's the thing for the people that are having these operations, the rates and the deletion is the same.
Yeah.
It's not preventing.
Nothing changes.
Nothing changes. So at what point, man, we might need to get on a different subject, bro.
I know. I'm sitting there going, oh, God, please change the topic. I know so much about this, and I want to say so much, but I know every word I would use would get you instantly banned and deplatformed.
dadtalktoday.substack.com, where we will be, and I want to say a big thank you to the Substack people. I don't know that they'll see this or anything, but thank you so much for making an alternative platform that protects, free speech and that protects content creators. I can say, if it wasn't for content creators, similar to Dad Talk, even though I'm an advocacy group, if it wasn't for content creators, these platforms would not exist, dude. It is the people that are making these shows, that are making this content, that is showing up on your wall, that keeps people entertained and keeps them in there. We get treated like absolute crap. I mean, the bigger your audience gets, the less people you reach, because that's if you got something important you want to get out there. We want you to boost that post up a little bit because we know you need to get the word out there. That is completely ass backwards. And it makes no sense that I'm trying to use this platform to expand my reach, and yet it keeps getting taken away from me. Then if I got something I want to say, if I don't say it the way you want me to say it, then I can't say it at all.
Right.
So knowing that there is alternatives like the Substack, there's another one called Locals. I've been meaning,
Locals,
I've been meaning to check that out, and Rumble.
Rumble.
Rumble, and I think Elon
Yeah.
Musk is becoming a much more proponent over there on Twitter. He's not allowing links to Substack anymore. I don't know if you saw that.
Okay. That's news.
Yeah, they're in a little bit of a heated argument because
Okay.
that came out with something called Notes. They're
Mhm.
almost identical to tweets.
Okay.
They're shadow banning all of the links from Substack. But I know that it can be done. If we could get, 2,000 or 3,000 people over there following that is tuned in every single time, that'll be better than having 3 million on any of these other platforms. It's about
Yeah.
having dedicated people where you can get the message out and get the support that you need, because everything we do here is major cost. It's major cost. It's time commitment. It's the whole 9 yards, dude. And, it's hard for a place like Dad Talk, because we know financial hits most of these guys that are going through these issues. That's where they've been hit the hardest.
Right.
You know? But we can make this on our own. And if everybody does a little bit, it goes a long way. And so I'm looking forward to getting my feet dipped in more in that subject. Like, I know what comes with the territory of going into issues like that. I'm fully aware. I would not be able to look at myself in the mirror, Dwayne, if I knew that there was a little kid there, innocent little child, that can't speak, against this, because they're caught between, what one parent's wanting them
Mom
to
and
do,
Dad.
politics and everything. Their heads are confused. They're in the middle of this society being fed this crap in entertainment in the schools, on the cell phones and social media. I would not be able to look at myself if I turned a blind cheek to that. And I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to be a hypocrite. There's been times that I have, I've talked to some of the parents that this has been going on with, and I'm like, dude, you have no idea how behind you I am, but they've crippled us from being able to speak about it.
Yeah.
And,
That's what the major platforms, they have a narrative that they want to push out there. And yeah, if you were to say the wrong thing on, we'll say YouTube or Facebook, you're gone. You'll get a ban, and that's it. And unfortunately, it's permeated throughout all of society, and people are seeing one side of the story. They need to see the other. Substack is an excellent place for everyone to go to. I would invite. It's free to sign up, and then there's for other content. There is I think it's a monthly contribution for that, but you can go there and see and watch unfiltered content that can educate and entertain. But yeah, I would invite people to go there, and then Locals, if you go down that route, they have some good content there as well. But it's all free speech. You're able to say we don't have to dance around all these topics. We can just say this is what the issue is. Here, you can see it for yourself. Do it, because if you were to show 1% of what we're talking about on these current platforms, you'd get banned in a second. It's horrible. I don't know why I was just thinking about this, as far as, being pushed to your limits. I just saw a video, one of the latest Transformers cartoons, not the real one, or not the movies and all that, but a cartoon. Actually, they're now using pronouns. I'm like, you know what?
Megatron is now Megatran.
Yeah, there's a funny video out there about that part of it. But that was adult humor and funny. But no, they actually, for kids, there's a kids Transformer cartoon that is all about that. And I just went, oh, you're hitting my thing. That's my. Anyway, sorry.
No, dude. I mean, I think, if you look at Bud Light and what happened, I think it's probably a message to them that, you know what, you might not have people that are getting on the microphone and screaming about it, but they can hit you with their pocketbooks. And so I was watching something just yesterday. I am going to murder this. There's something like EFS funding or ESF funding that a lot of these companies are getting. They have money, but to operate, they have to have operating expenses, which is a line of credit,
Right.
and it falls under that ESF funding. And I think it's like environment, societal,
Oh.
and then something else. And so one of those is woke politics, dude.
Yeah.
And so the reason that you're seeing a lot of these companies go that way is because of that funding. And if they don't, because look, dude, at some point they got to wake up and realize, like, every time we try to push this on people, it's not good for business. But what are you going to do? Lose a little bit of business or lose that line of credit?
Yeah, oh, exactly. Yeah, exactly. And they are pushing. That just hit me. Of course, I'm from Texas, so picking on the Texas stuff, they're infiltrating the schools. They are passing a bill now where they're going to allow your counselors. Today in Texas, counselors can talk to you. These specific counselors can talk to you about, what job are you going into, your education, kind of where you're sitting. Now they're going to be able to sit down with you and talk about your social issues. And that just, sailed on through. I just went off on a completely different topic, I know, but
No, it's okay.
just this stuff, this last legislation period here in Texas, I've been paying attention to all over the country, but here in Texas has just blown my mind. And going back to the whole, our legislators are in on it. I would just tell everybody, do a little bit of research, check out pharmaceutical companies and where the money's coming from. A little hint there, and you'll learn a few things.
Yeah, man. Well, I don't know how many of you guys have went through this, but if you got kids that are in school, I mean, even down into, I think, elementary school, they're wanting to do sex ed.
Yeah.
And so my daughter was in the 8th grade this year. She was 7th last year. They did sex ed last year, and then they was trying to do it again this year. She came home bringing a form, like, where I had to sign off on it. And I was like,
Yeah.
no. She
You're
was
like,
why not? I'll be the only one. I was like, that's fine. I was like, no. And I mean, she was cool with it. And afterwards, she came home hugging me. She's like, I got to sit in the library. But
another area to be concerned about is being in the library. I don't know, just where you're at.
I heard about it, dude.
Yeah, well, it's funny how it's that topic, the whole library, the books, and all that has also done that. Just a little personal story. My son and his girlfriend last weekend, we were just sitting around talking, and actually she brought up the whole, why does everybody care about books and everything should be whatever. And so we kind of, started talking about, this is that whole education part where unfortunately you have to learn about this stuff. We were talking about, should certain books be allowed, and they felt that it didn't matter. And I said, okay, so you want your second grader to have access to certain books, and kind of went back and forth. And then she named, I won't name the book because it'll get us, I'm sure it'll get us banned, but she named the book. And I said, oh, have you read that book? Well, no, I haven't read the book, but it should be okay. And the title is very innocuous. There's nothing crazy about the title. And I said, oh, well, if you go to, chapter 3, page 4, it says this, and I won't repeat it because it will get you banned. And she just sat there and looked at me, and I go, and that's the importance of education. And and then, we went on. That's where I go back to the whole, you got to be educated, and the fact that it's permeated every part of society. I mean, I think I raised my son to be red pilled, to be, inoculated against all this stuff, but he's being pulled into it too, because he was shaking his head right along with it. And then, of course, gave them some information and facts, and they walked away going, no, something to think about. That goes back into we've, unfortunately, for the folks on here and everybody, you've got to get educated. You've got to be able to have those conversations, because it's not even coming anymore. It's here. You got, and your daughter with third grade?
No. She was in 8th. I mean, this was going on in 8th. I mean, I hear about it all the way. And I'm gonna be honest with you, dude. Like, one of the things that struggled with me, because I had all daughters, was the birds and the bees talk.
Yeah.
And I had to ask myself, like, when is the right age? And I got my kids pretty young on it. I think it was around 6 or 7 years old. And I do not regret that one bit whatsoever, because my thing was, I learned about the stuff at school and I learned about it in a completely different way. And I was like, I want them to know that even though it's, a subject, that could be hard to talk about for parents, like, there's nothing that you can't talk about with your daddy. If you got questions or concerns, like, come to me. I want to be here to talk with you about it. So I did that at a very early age. And I don't regret that one bit whatsoever. The kids need to be learning from the parents. I used to be a very big fan of public school, because I believe the camaraderie and a lot of the stuff that goes with it. But how that woke culture has just made its way in there, dude. You used to didn't have to worry about that until you got to college.
Right.
That's usually where the brainwashing came. No, man, it's all the way down to the very bottom. I was watching just yesterday. Oh, we're going back into that subject. But like the kids going around at a drag show, little kids.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's insane. Well, just a little bit of a public service announcement. The latest thing now is we have independent school districts. I'm sure other states have it, like in their counties and stuff. But the political, they're infusing money into the local school districts at the election level. They're not going after the state anymore. Where I'm at, they spent on our ISD, which is it's a small district, as they all are. They spent something like $30,000 per person for an election, for a school district election.
Mm.
Both sides, and this is both sides. Both sides are infusing money because they know that if they can capture that area, it then goes from there to the county, to the city, on up to the state, and then nationally. I just want to say, guys and girls, it's here. The time for watching, who won the sports thing or the car racing game, it's over. I mean, it's here now. And that's why you've got to get involved. Watch these documentaries, learn about this stuff, and get out there and start talking about it, because it's here.
Yeah, man. I mean, really quick, we haven't done this in a while. It's so nice to see all the faces. I'm seeing you guys pop
Oh yeah,
comments. Appreciate you for being here. Sorry for the absence. Every once in a while, Dwayne, I just have to get away from it, man. It's like you burn that candle at both ends, and you're sitting there. Let's do it, guys. Let's do it. And then it gets to a point. It's just like, man, I want to keep going, but I know if I do, it was dragging every part of me down.
That's where I got.
I didn't stop. I went and started making the documentaries, and I think that was a good way to reset myself. And I believe it tells a story in a way that I can't do on the podcast.
Right.
The one thing I would ask for this community, again, make sure to support these things. You have no idea just how much is on the line to be able to make these. And if we can show that this type of media is supported and that there is, people behind this issue, good things will happen, guys.
Mm-hmm.
I promise you good things will happen. But not only that, like I said, good to see you guys' faces. Do me a favor. If you're watching this right now, I'm not going to beg you, but you could like this post. Could you do that for us really quick? Share, subscribe. However, just I want to make sure that we are making this message get out here. I really want to see this change, dude. I have a inner fight between myself that's like, you got the two devils. It's like, why do you keep doing this? And you got the other one that knows who you are. It's like, I'll never quit doing this. And that's where I was kind of getting to. And I do that usually every so many months. It's become kind of a normal routine for me. And it sucks because like today, doing this with you, getting to get on here, I'm really enjoying it.
Yeah.
I'm really enjoying it. I think the part that drags me down is the lack of movement, the lack of resources. And then, I got to say something to the, some of the parents out there. If this isn't you, please don't take offense to this, but to the ones that think that we're supposed to do their cases or like chew us out when you're not on the podcast. Literally had like a message after being gone for 2 weeks, hadn't seen the family, hadn't seen the kids. He's like, F you, you're not talking about me. You're ignoring me. And I'm like, who are you?
Oh yeah.
And that's why I a long time ago, I stopped checking my messenger on my personal Facebook. And that's why, because people just have like unrealistic expectations of the ones that are out here scratching just to be able to survive. I do think we're headed in the right direction, though. The one thing that this movement's never had is its own media. We've had documentaries come out here and there, but we've never had like a full-blown media organization. I think to do that, we got to spread our wings to fly a little bit. I've got other documentaries I'm working on that aren't family law. Some of them are family trauma. Some of them are sports. I got
diversifying that portfolio.
Yeah, I got one that's going to be about music, country music. I got to film Wade Jennings the other day, which he was on our show, dude. He actually came on Dad Talks, one of our bigger episodes. He came on here straight out of rehab, turning his life around. That was a little over 3 years ago. He has completely stayed sober, got a new baby, and he's really doing good, dude. But just showing what the life is like being the grandson of somebody that was, you know, mega famous. And he's making quite a name for himself too. So for every family law documentary or something of that type that I'm making, I'm trying to do something outside of that maybe I can get a little enjoyment from, just to kind of balance the two. Because I know you're not ever going to be able to make a family law network. Okay.
Tried. It didn't work out.
I did it very early on. You're not going to be able to carry it like that by its own. So you just got to diversify. And I don't think that's a bad thing. We all know what's going on here. And, but my attitude, another reason I think I had to get away from the screen for a little bit, my attitude's becoming very sour. Like, the longer it goes, the less faith in attorneys and politicians that I have. Not that I had much to begin with. Yeah. But, yeah, that's enough. Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, I was just, I mean, obviously, I think there are a number of people that already kind of know about stuff on my end. I feel you. You know, putting everything out there, not getting support, or not getting enough support. It became, me. I'm a data guy, so doing the law or doing the calculations of all the time and all that I spent on it versus the return on it, and it wasn't an investment that I thought that I should keep doing. So I'm actually gonna I've left. For those who don't know, I'm the pissed off parent, or used to be, I guess. But I've since then kind of closed shop, as it were, and kind of reevaluating. And I'm taking a different. I'm still going to be trying to change hearts, minds, laws, all that fun stuff. But I'm going to do it in a much different way. Doing it from we're going to get 1 million people together to fight the tyrannical laws and all that obviously didn't work after a decade of doing it. So, gave it the old college try. So I'm going to, go a different route. But yeah, no, I feel you get burnt out because you give so much. You're gone for 2 weeks, haven't seen your kids. You walk in, you pop up InstaSnap, and the first message you get is somebody yelling at you because you didn't handle their personal situation, or you get voluntold to you need to be at this rally on Tuesday, or that type of stuff. It got old. So I feel you.
It does. But you can't let that detract from the beautiful faces that we got in here.
Oh yeah.
That are supporting and doing the right thing. So I don't ever want anybody that's watched or supported this show or followed it to everything that we're talking about.
Yeah.
That's just some of the stuff. It gets old, and I'm not even going to give that much time to it because it doesn't deserve it. But in order, for those people that do that kind of stuff, they claim that they want change. Before we can get any change, you need to change yourself.
Right.
And you need to get outside your own story. You really do. It's not just about you, kid. It's not.
Yeah.
And I understand what's going on with your kids. It's going on with many people's kids. And if we all are only concerned about ourselves, you can't have a movement.
Right.
You're centered on one person. We need us, not I, is what we need. So, and like I said, dude, I do think it's coming. I am starting to see some pushback. Mm-hmm. We're seeing more in the media of the dads that's going through this. Did you see the story on Tyrese?
Oh yeah. I've been one of the on the Facebook page. I have a feeder that basically pulls in articles from across the world on things like child support, the family or the custody exchange, deletions. I was finally able to get that, and it auto populates that information, and there was a bunch of them on Tyrese. Woo. Oh my gosh. Not pretty.
Was it 640,000?
650.
650.
What kid needs $650,000? What adult needs $650,000? It's insane. But thankfully, it's not going to happen. Or wait, is he? No, he's not in Texas, is he? That was another one. No, he is.
Tyrese is in Atlanta.
Oh, he's in Georgia. Okay, so he's not gonna have to deal
Why
with
don't y'all
something.
tag Tyrese down there in the comments? It's the only way you're going to get his attention.
Yeah, pound Tyrese.
Pound Tyrese, dude. We're here, brother. We're ready to tag team up, and getting. It was never about like getting celebrities to get street cred or anything like that. Like you look at the Johnny Depp case and how that one case brought so much publicity.
Yep.
Could you imagine if all these guys that are going through this actually started speaking? It could eclipse the decades that a lot of the activists have done and the legwork that they've done. And just from them speaking out or doing even one Facebook Live or Instagram Live or something about it, it would eclipse it.
Yeah.
Just because of the following they got, and they have a megaphone. Let's be honest. That's why the celebrities get involved in politics too, right?
Right.
It makes us sick to our stomach when it's being shoved down your throat all the time. But the reason that politicians go after celebrities is because they know they have influence.
Right.
People that watch them, that relate to these movies, they think they relate to them, but they don't know the real person. They know the actor, the character that they're portraying. But I do know there's got to be some good ones out there. And I did see a statement from Johnny Depp. I think it was just yesterday or the day before that he said he's done with Hollywood. He's got nothing for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can. Hey, dude, hashtag that Johnny Depp down in here too, man. Where are you?
We need everyone. I mean, we're looking at the comments here. Actually, I just saw Steve's comment here about raising the cap on income. Yeah, I reported on that a couple weeks ago. No one pushed back on that one. So yeah, they're raising again, picking on Texas. They're raising the cap from what was it, $6,000 to $15,000. So if you make your salary gets you in that number, or you get a insurance claim, or you win the lottery, whatever, they're now capping you at $15,000. The one who passed that, and it's actually going to get passed, it basically raised it. I think it was like 86% in 2 years. I think it was 68 or 86. Can't remember. It was on one of the videos I made, but yeah. That's the whole. Yeah, here we go. Sabrina, good job, Sabrina. Tyrese and Johnny Depp. There we go. And everybody else, copy and paste that one and throw it in there. That's
easy things to do. Easy things to do, man. You know how many emails I got about that? Eric, you need to be reaching out to Tyrese. It's like, okay.
Yeah, let me call him. Hold on.
Yeah, I got the digits. No, I don't. No, I don't. I wish I did. But you would be surprised at the people that do reach out, though, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know it's because of the lack of resources. That even we think it only affects the middle class or the lower class. No, I got interested, and I can't remember. I don't want to murder this. You talking about the $650,000 with Tyrese? I think the biggest child support payment in history was about $650,000 a month. Have you ever read up about the Kurt Kerkorian case?
Oh, that name does not sound familiar.
Yeah, he is. I'm about to look it up.
600
billionaire agreed to pay more than $10 million in back child support plus $100,000 a month. Ooh. No, but he was paying more than $100,000 a month.
4D funds, baby.
Dude, could you imagine? Like, how in the world is that child support? Seriously.
Yeah, and well, it's actually about to get worse in a couple states. Right here in ours, the retroactive child support bill is sailing on through. So that'll be.
I can't even talk about it. I mean, I don't want to hear anybody complain about it.
Oh no, yeah, I've got a video already ready made. I've already got a video.
And again, that sounds like we're dumping on the people that do support. So that's not what we're saying. But I can already tell you the people that have seen what's going on and the begs to get involved or to share something. And when this gets here, just you were warned. I mean, we were months ahead of time in talking about this retroactive child support.
Yeah.
You're going to have to go back and pay an extra 9 months of child support. It could
It's
be
worse than that.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be that, and then you're going to get it's going to be a judgment. So it's going to be, say, $10,000 that you get walking out of the courtroom. And now they were nice. They're going to let the 6% per annum go the first year. So when your credit report gets hit day one and you can't get a job or an apartment or a house or a car or anything else because your credit report has a $10,000 judgment. Well, no, that works out for these kids. And they still have it to where you can name anyone you want to. So I'm assuming Elon Musk, Zuckerberg, whoever, they're going to be pretty popular on September 2nd. But anyway, I digress.
It's gonna go through.
Oh, it's already on the calendars.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna go through.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's a done deal.
What's the deal with the shared? I mean, I guess one good update that I got, Miss Linda Reitzel, great friend of mine from the National Parents Organization. It looks like shared parenting is going through to the governor in Missouri
and Florida.
Well, I don't want to say Florida too quick, but we'll see.
Yeah.
They didn't attach it to the
alimony bill.
Okay.
That's why I'm hopeful that DeSantis will sign it for Florida. The first time he vetoed it, he said he didn't read it. But I think since it's not tied to alimony and all the other organizations that, are giving the money, I think that one's going to go through. But as far as wins, Missouri and Florida are going to join the other 3 states. So 5 down, 45 more to go.
I feel pretty hopeful about the Missouri one. It was a couple of years ago.
Oh yeah.
Linda got me to fly out to Jefferson City in Missouri, and I marched the Capitol with her. Dude, it's people like that in the movement that I don't think get enough credit. I mean, she's been working on that bill for like 8 years, and it always gets filibustered on one side. Like they'll get it through one chamber, and then they got one side doing this. But luckily enough, that day while we was there, we got to talk to the governor. And he was pointing to some of the other people. If they support it, I'll be behind it too. So I'm pretty hopeful on that. And not to poo-poo on anything, because I've been very vocal about this. I think it's amazing. We need shared parenting. My biggest fear is without the consequences for false allegations.
Right.
Guys, we're standing still. I mean, love them, hate them, whatever. You had a couple of weeks ago with Donald Trump and the girl from 30 years ago.
Yep.
Inside of somewhere that he did this. I mean, you didn't scream. I mean, anyway, I don't want to get into that. I really felt bad. Help. But I'll say in this too, the Bill Cosby's. I think that was a complete setup, dude.
Oh yeah.
People like when they start, and Cosby had been getting very vocal leading up to that point when that happened towards him. But we are seeing people with nothing more than a mere allegation, no evidence, absolutely no evidence, come in here and use the silver bullet, and it works. That's why I say, like, until we have consequences for false allegations of sexual abuse, physical abuse, that happens more than anybody could ever imagine. And I think people, that's another one. They don't want to speak because they're afraid of getting canceled. Well, because what if somebody did do that? I'm going to err on the side of caution. Dude, I'm with you. If somebody did that, they need to be like put under
the book at them.
That's me. But you shouldn't be able to ruin somebody's life off of the mere allegation. And, it's like people fought against it when it was Johnny Depp because they could tell what Amber was doing. Well, what about the millions of other guys that are going through it?
Well, then we get those guys that they accept the plea deal because the DA comes to them and says, hey, if you accept the plea deal, you won't get, I can try to promise you no jail time, which you know how that works out, and it'll be fine. Well, the guy says, okay, he just wants it over. He wants to see his kids, whatever. He signs the paperwork. The judge throws it out, throws his butt in jail for 2 years. He gets a felony, depending upon the state that you're in, of whatever level. And then it's over for him. And of course, she gets the kids, and it's a done deal. I mean, the silver bullet's the silver bullet for a reason. And these guys just willingly go into it. The silver bullet's horrible. And it's like I think it was 86% of all the allegations are false nationally.
Yeah. And most of the attorneys admit it too, because they know they've seen it. They're having to fight against them all the time. And it makes for a more lengthy process of going through the courts. More billable hours. Mm-hmm. And nobody wants to stop that because it's just too big of an industry. And that's why I say, like, look, I was talking to an attorney yesterday, one that I trust. very rare.
Very
He's like,
few.
Eric, man, you're very hard on attorneys. I was like, I know. I was like, but if you go back and see if there is just about every show when I go into it, I'll say, look, besides a handful that I can count on my hand,
One finger.
I don't trust attorney. Yes, I mean, it's very, very,
And my pinky. It's my thumb. That's the smaller one. Yeah.
very, very small. But I was like, oh, I always put that out there.
Yeah.
But they love it, and I understand it's their career. I understand that. And look, let me give another background into that. If you go to an attorney and he's doing what he's supposed to be doing for you, he does get an office. He does get people he's got to pay.
Yeah.
I understand them charging. I think it's what they are charging and how long they allow this process to go through,
Right.
which is really becoming the crux of the issue.
Right.
You should be able to know this is what it's going to cost me. It shouldn't be one of those things that every time you think you're done, you're getting another bill and having to go in there. So there are some good guys, and I believe most of them will give you most of those details up front, and they stick by it. It's the ones that play stupid.
I need a retainer.
Yeah.
If you get a retainer, leave.
But I would also say for the ones that are the good ones that I'm talking about, you got to stand up against it.
Yeah.
You got to stand up against it, man.
That's
Like,
hard though.
I know it's hard. I know it's your career and it's your industry and everything. But, I've said this tons of times. I believe it. Family law is not going anywhere. It's not. You're always going to have the family law system. It just needs to be completely broken down and rebuilt. There's going to be cases where mom and dad don't live in the same town. Maybe they live on the other side of the country.
Right.
There's going to be the ones where she's making the allegations and you have to go in there. But I'd say the majority of cases probably could be peaceful cases, and we could teach people how to co-parent rather than litigate and throw mud at each other. But I don't think they're going anywhere. But man, I don't even want to put a number on it. I would say the majority of cases should never go through the family law courts in the first place. Nobody should have to be paying to be a dad.
Right. Yeah, it shouldn't
That is-
happen. Well,
No.
And what surprises me is I don't know if most people know how much it costs to actually get divorced in their state. I mean, you go to your county, the rough average is about $300. The forms are downloadable. You can fill it out, have the other person waive the process. And for $300, you can get legally divorced in your state.
Yeah.
Why it takes 20, 30, 40, 50. The average, I think, divorce for, well, they did a national thing. Something like $10,000 is the national average. Why that huge disparity? It makes no sense.
$10,000 is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Why don't they have a $5,000 cap? Even that's a little high for most of us that are going through this crap. You had
Right.
2 people that were once making this home. Now it's going down to 1. You got to go get separate homes and everything. That is a lot of money that you're asking about. And then they'll say that we always make it about money. No, the politicians make it about money. It's the reason that this industry exists. And at the end of the day, people got to be able to take care of themselves. But it's another way of canceling you from speaking up
Mm-hmm.
because don't touch my industry. We don't want you doing that.
Yeah.
And fellas, we've definitely got to start hitting this in a different way. I want to go to Gail Hydrobat, and don't forget, I've got voicemails.
Oh, yeah.
Forget about it. I do got some in the voicemails, and we'll get to those guys. If you got some last minute ones, 762
I'm in.
441-0281. Gail said, don't forget Arizona judges have been ordering shared parenting, I believe, since 2012. If I'm not wrong, Gail, Arizona is one of those controversial states that
Right.
supposed to have shared parenting, but I have heard from more
Like-
people that it's one of the more corrupt states out there.
Yeah.
You know,
I would again look at, you want to go to the data and see what's actually happening. Then because everyone comes out and says, oh, we're doing more and more of these. But when you look at the actual data, it's actually getting worse.
Yep.
And when they pass laws, well, I hate but love to pick on Texas. So Texas passed that expanded standard order or whatever. And unless there's a compelling unless there's an argument or someone says whatever, the judges are now using that to then give them standard, because if they argue for it, that opens everything up and they can give them standard again. Sorry.
that whole thing was, that whole thing was smoke and mirrors too, dude. Expanded standards. So the next time that it comes up, well, we already changed it. Let's try that out for a little bit and see how it goes.
Yeah.
Texas is a very corrupt state. They're organized. The politicians, they work with each other. And the ones that make you think that they're working for you know they got a buddy that is going to get up here that can be the asshole for them. Right?
Yeah.
But I'm going to make you think I'm fighting for you because you're my constituent. Right?
I mean, it's almost comical. Again, this last go around, we had a lifetime member of the Family Law Foundation write a 50-50 bill, and it didn't go anywhere. It just sat there the entire time while they pumped through all their pet legislation. It was almost, I mean, again, I have to be cynical, or I just can't deal with it. People believed it. It just blew my mind. But you know, who am I?
I knew that from the very beginning.
Yeah.
And I got to, dude, all love to you guys. But if it doesn't smell right, I realized it in the very beginning. That's a lot of time wasted going to the Capitol, doing these things, trying to get the support. And then what happens is you build up this support each time. Each time it gets a little bit less.
Yep.
And then at the end, people don't believe you anymore. And I believe that is a very good assumption of what's happened to this movement altogether. People have had their hopes up so many times that when somebody's like, dude, we got an opportunity, crickets.
Yep. Yeah.
And I understand. I've become that way too. I hear something, we got it good this year. I'm like, okay.
It's
okay. It's not that I don't support you, man, but they are crooks, man. It is. We have been scammed. Our families and what is going on in these courts is one of the biggest scams of all time. And the only way to do it, like I said, man, is to find different ways. I've got some more media projects, guys, that I'm wanting to introduce if I can get the support behind them. And I tell you, I think it could really make a dent in this thing. We got to do something different that we've never done before. And I won't go into the whole strategy behind it.
Yeah, I mean, I would say though, I mean, for everybody, it's like, share, subscribe, get this out to as many people. Get Dad Talk Today to as many people as possible. Get those numbers, get people talking about it, and then with all the other things that we can't go into happening, it can all come together. It's going to take all of us. It
is, man. It really is. But as bad as it is, right now is the right time to get on these.
Mm-hmm.
It is, because I think people have gotten to the point. It's like, dude, did Tyrese doing anything different that Kanye wasn't doing a couple of months ago, or before that Brad Pitt was doing? So it's like there's a superstar that comes out, and all of a sudden, oh man, they're gonna make something happen. No, you're gonna have another one coming up. These custody exchange murders. When one happens, I know I was just on the phone with one last night. There's another one coming. There is another one coming, and so somewhere along the way, we haven't tapped into that right place. We're going to find it.
Well, on the custody exchange deletions, I've set up automation to report on those. I had to update the code to slow them because they're coming in so often. I mean, it's saddening, but because it reports on those deletions all over the country, and there's so many of them that are coming in, I had to just say, okay, I'll post one every couple hours. And it's actually got a decent queue sitting right now. That's a whole other that needs to get explored and talked about more, because it's huge.
It's crazy, Todd's bringing this up. I was just thinking about this yesterday. He said there is an enormous war on language. Prostitution is still illegal on the books, but the language says nothing about sex work. Prostitution is a bad word. One we're not allowed to use. In legalese, every word matters. You don't have to change the law if you change the language used. I mean, dude, what do you call making a parent pay for time with their children? What do you call making a parent have to pay for custody of their children? At what point in time did we say, yes, you can bring us in under these people and tell them that they are in charge of what happens or what doesn't happen with my family with no good reason? I understand. Again, the family law courts aren't going anywhere. There's cases that are going to need to be heard. There is cases where abuse and other things are happening. But for the majority of these cases, what do you call that when you're telling this father, just because he went through a divorce or a breakup, this is what you've got to do to be able to see your children. And until then, you have no rights. And if you go in here, you probably still won't have many rights. And we're going to charge you an arm and a leg for it. Is the prostitution word does come up in similarities with
Right.
that, right?
Mhm.
It does. Is that not considered trafficking? Come on, man. Let's get to some of these voicemails.
Yeah.
I'm going to make sure that I get everybody's voice heard. Great to be back with you guys today. Keep them coming. 762-441-0281.
Hi, Eric. My name's Thomas. I'm calling from Southern California. I have an issue. I've been dealing with a divorce and custody issues. The ex-wife believes that she deserves 100% custody with court-supervised visitation. No documentation of anything, any wrongdoing. There's never been anything wrongdoing. She absolutely believes she's the only one who can take care of our son, and that I have no idea what I'm doing. I don't know how to take care of a child. And so she's doing everything in her possibility to keep him from me. She moved out 30 days ago. She will not let me see our son. I attempted to go to his school and pick him up from school. And she then left school because she worked there and took him.
Yeah.
The court initially denied my ex parte. It has been 30 days. I'm going to have to file another one, which will also probably be denied. Fellas, stay strong. It's emotionally hard, but other people are going through the same thing. And understand that all you have to do is just keep trying your hardest and don't give up. Do not give up.
Hey, I appreciate it, Thomas, dude. I mean, you're triggering me with that one. I know what it was like, and unfortunately, your moral compass starts going off. Should somebody be allowed to say what time I'm going to have with my kid, when, that I can't take care of the kid, that everything I'm doing is wrong, everything that they're doing is right, and that I mean, dude, basically, it's a woman saying, I have the control, I have the power, I am your boss, I control you.
It's all about control.
own your child. You're a visitor. This time you're gonna have to pay for it. You're gonna have to beg me for it. You're gonna have to take me to court for it. And you know what? The courts love women like that.
I
Dude.
love it.
They love them. I have never been able to wrap my head around that, dude. I mean, my ex knew that I couldn't afford court. She knew because of the situation that I was in at that point in time. So it was, if you come to my house, you can sit with me and see the kid, but you can't have that alone time. Yes, breastfeeding, everything in the book was used.
Right.
But when it came to, dude, I've raised several other daughters. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
I am not a bad guy, but unfortunately, again, she has the rights. Guys, we have a fight. We don't have rights. We have a fight.
Yeah.
Nothing could be more frustrating. That sounds to me like a father that would love to see his child. He said again, absolutely zero evidence. But then again, that is the power that we have gave to these people so that the business can keep going.
Yeah. I mean, he's from SoCal. So, I mean, California, you know, they're going to, I mean, I would probably just go ahead and preemptively take the parenting classes so you can get that out of the way. Another way they make money off of it. And I would invest in a tape recorder, have a video recorder on you 24/7. Of course, I tell that to everybody. I may have to just, on the page before I brought it down, I had a section for preparing for divorce or breakup. And it was basically a laundry list with links and data and all that for people that when they got hit with the divorce paperwork or they knew things weren't right with their current their significant other, they could go here and get a list of things to say and do and prepare for. I might just need to open that back up. It's tough, and you're gonna have to fight. Dads, again, 90% because everyone will argue percentage point here and there, but 90% of the time it's the dad that has to go through hell and back just to get any time with his kid. And this one is just not right. It's horrible.
I'm going to challenge that, Dwayne. I'm going to say the things we're not supposed to say as dads just to see where the conversation goes. And you and him both said, you got to fight. You got to fight. Why does he have to fight?
Oh, you shouldn't have to, but again, the profit system, the way society is set up, that unfortunately is almost his only choice. I mean, he could make the hard decision to walk away. I mean, and sometimes that's the decision you have to make because you're up against something that you can't fight.
If he walks away, does that mean he doesn't love his child or that he's a bad father?
Oh, no. I mean, it wouldn't mean that he's looked at the landscape and went, this is something I can't win. I can either dump $1 million into this, take off my life, up in jail, because sounds like she's one of those ones that, when he pushes back with fighting, she's going to amp her game up and be given legal aid, friends and family support, stranger support, you name it, to then do the silver bullet, which will then land him in jail or worse, or he ends up on, one of my fees on custody deletions. I know people will say, oh, you should have fought harder, you should have done this, but sometimes when you look at the lay of the land and the crazy you're dealing with, and you just got to make that tough decision and, do other things, open up a Gmail account and put, memories and thoughts and whatever, and give it to them when they're old, when they, reach the 18 or 21 or whatever, and try to reconcile at that point. But yeah, no, I mean, again, it's not a cookie cutter solution. There are different, situations for everybody, but there are times it makes sense. The most logical thing to do is to walk away.
Yeah, Mike Whitney said sometimes the best way to win is not to play the rigged game at all. And
That's true.
not something you want to promote, because we want to see, parents with their kids, but at the same time, you're playing a game of poker with your kids, and that's what's at stake right there. And so, a father that wants to see his kid, but he's being met with those challenges and these obstacles, is not a deadbeat. He is a father that has met a dead end. And I think many of these guys realize that what it's for. And it's like, call me a deadbeat, call me whatever you want, but I'm not playing your games because I shouldn't have to. That's not the way this is supposed to be. I don't hold anything against the fathers that do go in that system and do that. Some of them have gotten good outcomes, very little.
Very few.
Very few. But we've got to stop looking down on guys for making what choice is best for their life. If it's a guy, look, deadbeats are just going to walk away. They don't want nothing to do with the kid. They're not going to sit there and argue with the ex or anything. They're like, you take care of them.
Yeah.
Let me get on. But for a father that, just refuses to go through that system because it doesn't make no sense.
Oh, or to call.
I'll be honest with you, that's what I want to say. Stop going. Stop going to the courts. I'm not going to say that because I know what's attached to it, and the consequences that are attached to it. But there's that part of me every day. It's just like, don't play the game.
Yeah.
I wish there was another option. As of right now, there's not.
I use the Matrix analogy a lot. They hold all the keys, they hold everything, and you're walking into their den. They've had 50 years to perfect this process. You walking in with the righteous facts and all the data in the world, when they can give an existing drug user custody over a dad that hasn't done a thing wrong and is a good dad, that tells you something's wrong and the system's screwed up. Yep. And I mean, you're right. Everyone wants to prejudge people and say, oh, you walked away from your kid, you're a piece of garbage. Sometimes that's the smartest thing, because Glenn Terry, I hate to, this is a nuclear or a bad way to say it. Glenn Terry, if he had just walked away, I hope he's not listening. I'm sure he's thought about that a million times if he hasn't already said it a billion times.
No, he said it.
He's okay. He has said it. Yeah. I mean, these are tough situations, and
nothing about the system protected his kid.
Yeah.
It was a year being kept away from the kid. Yeah, it was abuse to the child. Because he tried. He told them every step of the way. He ended up being right. And there's not even an apology due.
Oh, no.
They won't even apologize because they're not going to admit that the system was wrong. And when you got a father that goes and does all these steps and tells you what's going to happen and you fail to this extent, I have no other way to put it because it is absolutely the truth. that child's blood is on your hands. I mean, that
Yeah.
child's blood is on your hands, because if you had listened to the father, and if he would have had that right instead of the fight that you made him have, his child might still be alive. Same with Jonathan Vanderhagen and many of these guys.
Yeah.
So when it comes to these guys, after talking to those guys, the new guys that come up, I'm like, what do? I get very caught in between what to say. Do I tell
Not
them,
black and white.
make sure you go get a good attorney, make sure you go get through there? Or do we start looking at them and saying, dude, if you can't do the fight, get your head in there, get organized, and get yourself prepared. And when you can fight, fight. Until then, what can they do? But we try to use the society's expectations
Right.
and how much you love your child with how much you're going to pay to force these guys to get in there. And once you're in there, dude, you're in there.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
no way. That's the thing. We just need you to step your foot in there, because once you step your foot in there,
We got you.
we got you. You can go scream to the top of your lungs. You can go on Tucker Carlson or Don Lemon or whatever you want to. There's nothing that you can do. I mean, in the case, Younger, he was on Carlson right before Carlson got kicked off.
Yeah.
$1.5 million, dude. And allegedly, I didn't hear this from Younger, allegedly, he's going to end up having to pay the other side's attorney's fees too.
Oh, yeah.
Think about that. I
Oh,
just
yeah.
went in there and spent all this money, all these years, fought a political campaign, the whole 9 yards, have my child completely stripped away from me. If I do get a supervised visitation, I have to see my son in a dress and in a wig. And I'm being told that I'm going to have to pay for her legal fees for doing this to me. It's like telling these dads to just bend over and say, please, can I have another?
And it gets worse. And I'm going to say to the other 49 states, get ready. They're passing a bill right now in Texas that is going to give attorneys the same rights as the judge to pursue legal fees. So an attorney now is no longer the third party asking the judge to collect on those attorney fees. It's going to now be the attorney, and we know how they work.
Oh, yeah.
So get ready.
They're there to protect one thing, dude, the retroactive child support. You know, the eyes was on,
5 bills.
the eyes was on Texas because it was going through there,
Mhm.
I think, the hardest. But guys, it's coming to all 50 states. You watch. It's coming. And you think the family law is screwed up now? Like, this is the biggest thing to happen to family law in a long time. It's
Oh,
going to suck.
Oh, dude, Indiana already has it. They implemented it back in 2017.
Really?
The family law attorneys are trying to get it changed to where it's not so bad, because all the Chicken Little crap I've been talking about for the last 8-9 months is what's actually happening. That's where I got my information. Yeah, when I would get on and do my thing or write a blog post or try to inform people, I would say this is what's going to happen. I'm not smart enough to figure it out on my own. I went to Indiana law and researched their law and what the judges were actually doing and copied and pasted that into my stuff, because that's what's going to happen.
You
Oh,
know
there's
why
a-
the attorneys would fight something like that? Because dad's now paying more money to child support that he can't get.
Exactly. You must have read it.
It's like, damn it, you took 9 months of child support. I could have done another motion, damn it.
That's why they're doing it. You must have read the articles.
No,
Oh
I
my
didn't.
God.
This is my first time hearing about it in Indiana, but that's it. That's absolutely it. Like, you're taking
Yeah.
money away from the attorneys now. Now you'll see the attorneys fight.
Oh,
Again, I know as many on one hand that don't fit into that. And if I can respect you, you're going to have to respect me in saying the truth, because it is a swamp. It is 100% a swamp. Let's get back to the voicemails. Yes. Infuriating. Guys, keep them coming. 762-441-0281.
Hey, my name's Isaac. I'm from Alabama. I pay everything for my child. I even got the mother of my child a $500 prepaid credit card that I pay off every month. And whenever they're with me, I pay everything. And we got into it on Mother's Day, actually, matter of fact. And she's getting ready to she wants to take me to court for back child support, saying that I never paid her a dime.
Oh God.
And I've I've given that woman $1,200 a month, easy, paying for everything, and just like guys, if you're in my position, like I know it's hard, but the shit ain't fair. And I straight up told her, I'm like, look, the way the world is, if I just identify as a woman, do I owe child support? Hey, my name's Isaac. I'm from Alabama.
Oh God.
I always wanted to see that happen, but then we had the story happen out of Ecuador. I'm wondering what happened to that case.
I need to follow up on that one
Because that movement, I'm telling you, supersedes feminism from what I'm seeing.
Yep.
It was like, there was people that was getting mad at the guy. I was like, oh, he's just using that. You can't say that. He can identify as what he wants to identify as. So, so what I was picking up on that, dude, it's hard when I hear the voicemails. I have to just like sit my head down and close my eyes to take in everything. But he paid child support, but I guess he didn't do it in a way that he could prove it.
Yeah, he did a prepaid card, $500 a month, but it said something about $1,200. And yeah, they're basically gonna nail him for retroactive child support. Because it didn't go through the clearinghouse, which is how they get their Title 4D funds. And
if you gentlemen are ordered to pay child support, make sure that you're doing it through a check or something that you can show proof of. I went through the thing. I paid a year's worth in child support, even though it wasn't court ordered. Only to see posts being said, he never paid me a dime in child support. I got proof that is a lie. And then that is also confirmation that you can show, because if you can't show that to the judge, if you can't prove it, every bit of that money that you paid, if you did it in cash or something else, no good. It's going to go against you pretty much every single time. I haven't heard a case where somebody said, you know what, with a judge, he took up for me and recognized what I did pay. No, if you cannot show that you paid it, this is what will happen to you. And what did he say his name was?
Oh, God, I didn't catch his name.
Isaac. I was trying to think of a girl name for him, just in case he needed to use it.
Yeah.
I'm interested. If you do it, I want to hear about it.
Yeah. The thing is the again, if you don't know the people on it, if you don't know about Title 4D, which I hope that you do, the states recover and make money through Title 4D funds from the federal government. The only way they make that money, and I'm simplifying all this, is if that money goes through that clearinghouse where you pay child support. That's the only way they do it. The judge's retirement is based on the government, which is where they get the money. Do the math. And the judge is never going to allow that to happen. He is going to say you owe back child support plus interest.
Yep.
Every time.
Every single time, guys. I mean, it's just cut and dry as it can be on that. Don't do it.
Yeah.
Just don't do it. All right, we're going to get to this next voicemail, guys.
Eric, thank you for the platform. Thank you to all the dads out there that fight. And we fight like hell. I am one of the 17% that won. I won custody of my son. I have him 12 out of 14 days. Every other weekend he goes to his mom's. And when he goes to his mom's, he's with a known child rapist who served his time. And there's nothing that I can do about it. DHS can't do anything about it. The Oregon State Police can't do anything about it. So I send my son to somebody that raped somebody from the ages of 4 to 8 years old, did 7 years in prison, and he's still allowed around children. So, yeah, that's what I fight every 2 weeks. And every 2 weeks when I pick up my son, the first question is, he's almost 8 years old. And I say, was everybody nice to you? Yes, they were. And I've never had another different answer other than, well, he put his finger in my face and told me I can't do that. Okay, well, that happens. You're a kid. But a tiger don't change his stripes. And I fear it every 2 weeks. And on the weekends that he's gone, I don't sleep. I honestly cannot eat. I honestly just go to work. Excuse me. I work at a sawmill. I work night shift, normally during the week. And when he's not here, I go to work on the weekends just so I can try to forget for a little bit. But anyway, love what you guys do here. Love the platform. Man, this sucks. And yes, Eric, thank you for the platform. Thank you to all the dads out there that.
Okay, I think it started back over. Replays, man, dude. You know, the thing that burns me up on that is how often we hear of dads saying that thing, that their ex is with somebody that was convicted of rape.
Yeah.
Two different thoughts that come up with that. Everybody knows I'm not a fan of Mighty Mouse. I am not, the knight in shining armor, the stepdad that comes in there and tries to replace you. I'm not.
Right.
At the same time, when you got the problem with men in the Me Too movement,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean? So it's like, I believe this dad 100%. And he wants to see, something happen because he thinks this is happening to his kid. Yeah, I don't know how you navigate that one, honestly.
Well, something I picked up on. He said, I'm one of the 17% that won. I went, oh wow, he got primary custody. No, he feels he won because he got equal custody, which in itself is kind of not for him, but is sad that we look at getting equal shared custody as a win. That's how far that pendulum has swung the other direction. But again, 17%, he's got equal shared custody of his kid, and he's having to drop the kid off with a known child endangerer. I'm trying to use my words carefully here so you don't get deplatformed. I don't know, divorced or it was a SAPR situation or custody agreement. Usually there's language in there that if somebody has been convicted, if the other person is around someone that's been convicted of those type of things, that they have to notify you, which is, I'm assuming, how this happened. Personally, if it was just if it was if I found out that was a situation here, I would have daily wellness checks. I would be filing CPS reports on a daily basis every single time and just keep pushing it. At least hoping something would happen. Unlikely, but just keep doing it.
Yeah, Father X just said something. That's the way I had picked up on it. He said he has 12 out of 14.
Oh, 12 to 14. Okay, so he does that. Okay, so he has one.
Their weekend.
Okay.
That was the way it was with my two children that I had custody of. I always tried to, if they was like, can I go over to mommy's? Yes. I never said no.
Yeah.
And there was several times it was just, it's sad. I mean, that's very rare for a dad to get that type of something, but obviously there had to be something going on with mom for dad to get that custody.
Oh yeah.
Place, right.
Right.
But what is it with women that like men like that? Because this is not an uncommon thing, guys. I am telling you, you hear more and more dads say that that's the situation that's going on. And you know, when he was talking about the tiger doesn't change its stripes, one story that comes to mind, I think I've told it on here before, that, you know, growing up, my dad's church, we had a girl that got pregnant at 11. They couldn't understand what was going on because she never left home. She got pregnant by her biological father. Okay.
Yeah.
And so there's cases like this that do, you know, happen. And they put him in jail for 20 years. And I think he got out in like 15. He got out on parole. Within 6 months, he did it again to a 6-year-old.
It's the wiring. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, dude. I can't get it. And so I think that's the thing that makes the, you know, when we're talking about sexual allegations and the false allegations so hard is the fact that we got sick people in the world doing these things.
right.
And it's a hard one to navigate all the way around. It is.
Yeah. I mean, difficult. So yeah, I mean, for him to get primary, again, my era, when I heard 70%, and then it sounded like it was equal custody, but him, getting primary, there was some reason why. And then, these girls that end up with these guys, I don't even know what to say to it. It's why you hear they go with the bad boys, they go with the thrills, these losers, and they just seek them out. They'll give up a good guy and do it.
Challenge. He's a challenge. They need to fix somebody. I've never seen anything like it. There is a type of female that wants somebody to fix. It's like a project for him. No, he might not be able to change, but I can change him. You know, this is my project. And yes, a lot of times people will leave somebody that is mentally stable, you know, good husband, good father, great job, to go for the project.
Right.
And that has got to be a mental issue in and of itself, in my opinion. But
definitely something mental there. Yeah.
Yeah.
These people that, and you know, my fear is that he's already doing it to the kid, and then the wife or the ex-wife, she's going to cover up for it, and you know, he'll find out about it, you know, 20 years from now when, you know, the kid goes down some hole because of what happens to these children when they get abused like that. It's lifelong mental issues and damage that come from it. I don't know. These are the ones that you just you don't know what to say to it. I personally would be everyday wellness checks and you name it. I wouldn't even. And the fact that the state won't do anything. It's not like I'm alleging this guy may do it. He's already been convicted of it. He shouldn't be allowed within. Yeah, that's another thing. Shouldn't he not be allowed within 1,000 yards of?
If he's registered, yeah.
That's so. How is it? Yeah. How is this guy able to do that? And shame on the mom. I mean, if she actually cared about her kid. I mean, if I knew that Uncle Eddie, you know, had a problem with kiddos, Uncle Eddie ain't going to be around. Well, ain't going to be around at all. But ain't going to be around my kids.
I know of several cases, not through Dad Talk, but I know of several cases and some through Dad Talk where they will find out that stepdad has messed with a child. Mom will abandon the child and stay with stepdad.
Oh yeah.
Like that relationship between that troubled person and her is so strong that they will go with them before they will go with the child. And it is a very real problem. I'm telling you, dude, I've seen it.
Crazy.
I'm going to get on to the next call.
Yeah, let's get to the next one.
I'll tell you, brother, is, hang in there. I wish I don't have the answers, but at least we can give you a voice on here.
Hey, my name is Margot. I'm calling from Campbell County, Tennessee. I saw this on the website or the page that I joined, the group that I joined, about DCS, CPS, whatever it's called, in each area. It's different everywhere. I have a lot of issues that's been going on from a long time ago. I mean, years. Yes, a lot of it is my fault. I am a recovering addict, but I have spent almost 6 years trying to clean the mess that I created with myself and my children up, which has seemed to do me no good. DCS, CPS is getting away with so much wrongdoings these days. It's insane. Parents can't seem to change their lives. They don't want to see past their ugly, see past their past. There needs to be a solution to the problem. Help parents keep their children other than just worrying about money, a dollar sign that they see in their eyes for each child that is ripped away from its parents. The child wants to be nowhere but with their parents and deserve to be nowhere but with their parents. Yes, don't get me wrong, there are kids being abused, there are children being molested. I get that. Now, in those cases, a little different. But with recovering drug addicts that have tried to change their life, and even after ripping their family apart, destroying their world, mothers like me still push forward every day by being sober, still doing what I'm supposed to do, whether I have my children or not. I know my children still need me no matter where they're at. My purpose here on this earth was to be a mother to my 3 children that is 17, 15, and 12 years old. No matter how old they get, they'll always be my babies. I could go on and on.
Oh, she's
There's
still going.
so much that I have to tell. So much that I could probably write a book. This is happening everywhere around me. It's sickening. Please. Hey.
Cut off. You know, I'll say there's a part of that I have to agree with the caller. I mean, substance abuse, it can be a very hard thing to deal with. Dude, I've been through it. I've been through it. And I was a good dad at that point in time. Especially, you know, you go back 15 years ago when that opiate epidemic came out, they knew what they were doing.
Oh,
And
yeah.
for somebody that took those opiates, especially if they had trauma or adverse childhood experiences, it just attached itself to you, dude. And it
Yep.
can be one of the hardest things to get away from. And, you know, when you're going through addiction, it's a shameful, embarrassing thing. So you hide and you become a closet addict, which just continues to get worse. Doesn't mean you're a bad person. Doesn't mean you love your kids. At the same time, do your kids need to be in that environment? No. I guess every case is different. You know, somewhere it will and others don't. But every case is different. But for somebody that's trying to make amends for it and that is cleaning up their life, I believe everybody should be gave second chances. CPS doesn't make money by keeping kids with their parents.
I wanted to jump kind of like one kind of, you know, hats off to the lady for, you know, second chancing. Almost sound like a car accident. The clapping. I was like, whoa, what's going on here? But yeah, glad. I mean, you know, she's pulling herself out. I'm sure it's a day. I've never dealt with that addiction or that level of addiction. So I can't even begin to imagine the daily struggle she has, but for her to, you know, put her kids first, you know, that's great that she's doing that. It's funny. My wife, little personal thing, she actually works with an organization that they have voluntary placements. So if parents bring their children to this organization and say, hey, we've got drugs, we've got an issue or whatever, we can't take care of them, they turn them over to this organization my wife works for, and they, you know, love on them and, you know, treat, you know, help raise the children. And then when they're able to get their life back together, they can come back and get them. It's all outside of CPS. And I believe it was also mentioned in the comments, which what they have to understand is the whole Title IV-E money. We talk about Title IV-D, which is the child support piece. There's Title IV-E money, which is the CPS component of those federal funds. The states get money to take children away from their parents. Texas had a $42 million judgment because they failed to keep families first, I think was the program. They've been warned about it for years. They there was more money in Title 4E, those funds, than the Keep Families First program. So they kept doing that, even being warned not to. So they got a judgment for like $42 million, which they don't care about because they made more money off of it. But yeah, the states, they don't care. I mean, hell, we had that thing here where the CPS agent told the child to become a prostitute if they were hungry. I mean, it's all about money, and the state doesn't care.
You know, and like we say to everything else, there's exceptions.
Oh yeah,
it's crazy. You know, I was telling you guys about stepping outside the box, doing some other things. The last documentary I shot before I came home was actually about a man and his family that grew up with a crack addicted mom and the trauma. Now, dude, she's been struggling with this for over 30 years. She's sober now for almost 2 years, but it was sitting down with 7 siblings. Every one of them had a different story and what it was like not having no food at home, the trauma, where they grew up, the things they saw, having their stuff stolen from them. And there was stories there that said the system taking me was the best thing that ever happened to me.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? There was like I
there are success stories.
Yeah, there is some out there, and you got to understand like your battle with addiction. You know, your kids don't understand that, and I don't know that they are supposed to. You know, we brought them into this world. We got to take care of them and everything. I don't believe there is enough emphasis on getting people help so that they can be there, because a child does fare best when it has both parents in their lives, you know, and no matter how bad a parent does, a child is always going to love their parent, which is why you can tell when parental alienation is happening, because it's not natural for a kid to hate a parent.
Right.
It's just not. Like I said, I've seen both. You know, the one thing that I found respect with the caller is first thing she said, I've had my faults. This is what I did.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? That goes for every single one of us here on the face of this earth. And I'm proud for you for cleaning up. And I hope you can get your children back in your life, and that you guys can live happily ever after, you know, with your children and them with their dad. They need both of you, both of you sober. And we need parents. We need families. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, definitely. On the CPS front, just a kind of a thing I'm sure most of the folks here, hopefully it gets out to the people that like to use false allegations. To the people that do the false allegations, when you invite CPS into your house because you hate your ex or you want to get the leg up, as one of our DAs said, you're inviting the government into your house. They can take your kids and ruin them. If there's actually no abuse happening in your house, there's none of that, and you're just wanting to do it to get a better settlement and your divorce, shame on you. CPS should be there for situations where they need to get out of the house. There's drugs, there's abuse, whatever, and for people to use that to get a leg up is just sickening.
That's why the bickering that family court causes, it just pisses me off so much. It was not long ago talking to a mom that was in a relationship with a guy that had gotten divorced. So the kid would go back and forth, but it wasn't her kid. It was the step kid.
Mm-hmm.
They was wanting to call CPS over. The child came to their house in a long sleeve shirt during summertime, and that didn't have anywhere. They was sleeping on the couch instead of a bed. And they was going to call CPS over that. And I was like, what are you doing? He's like, I understand. Is it ideal? No. But where's the real harm here? He's like, do you know what you're getting yourself into when you step your foot into that? And he's like, I guess it's being used as a tactic. But it's just some of the small bickering over what one parent will let them eat ice cream or one won't.
Right.
You know? You see some of the craziest stuff when it comes to this family court stuff. It has taught parents how to fight. And so I know CPS is overloaded with cases that they don't need to be involved in. It's the family court's fault, and it's CPS's fault.
Right.
So,
and their response is to get more and more of your money to put into the system to keep feeding that beast.
That's absolutely right, man. Tell you what, man, we got one last voicemail. We're going to listen to that, and we'll come back on and talk to you guys for a second.
Hello, Mr. Carroll. This is an anonymous caller out of the great state of California. And
Ooh.
first and foremost, I'd like you to thank you for putting up such a good fight. We all try to put up the good fight for being a father. Here recently, as of April this month, my son's mother was involved in a DUI felony accident with my child in the car. And going through the motions of trying to figure out where my child was and having to go pick him up, it's been such a pain. And speaking to the district attorney of the county and the sheriffs, the police, everybody referred me back to family court. With the circumstances, my son was injured in the accident, and trying to protect him and trying to do what was best for him, everybody refers me back to family court. They will not help me, and calling a family lawyer in my case, that's how I kind of got visitation of my son, was having to go to family court and spending $10,000. I called my lawyer again, and they requested a $5,000 retainer. So the point being is, no matter what happens to your child, because we all want what's best for our child, as a father, it's extremely hard to get help, and everybody wants to refer you back to family court. But family court requires a retainer. It requires money. So if the father can't pay, father's options are limited. And it's been extremely disappointing. I asked the district attorney for help. They referred me back to family court. I asked the police for help. They referred me back to family court. It's so frustrating, you know. And I've been, as of this month, I've been involved in something where my child's safety is my concern. And it weighs heavy on me. Hello, Mr. Carroll.
Dude, so, you know, anonymous, not anonymous here. You had some triggering moments in that one. Obviously, that goes with the whole theme of the show that we've been talking about. Like, they just want to get your foot inside a family court. Just yesterday, talking to an attorney, he had a client, one of the worst cases of parental alienation he had seen. Mom was drunk, doing a lot of the same stuff. Went in front of the court, started crying. Yes, I'm struggling. I've been doing this and everything, but I'm a good parent. And it's no disrespect to the last caller. That's why I respect everything you said. I'm there for you. But I also see the other side of it. Lady goes in there, been doing everything wrong, alienating the guy from his kid. And then she's, substance abuse, starts crying. And then they said the judge was like, I see no reason to take the kids from her.
Yep.
That's why they want you to go to family court, dude, because the system doesn't make money by helping you, bro. I'm just going to be honest with you. And it shouldn't be that way. And for some of these guys, I'm just going to go ahead and say it. They'll tell you, to keep quiet and everything. I think you need to go public. You need to shout to the rooftops. My ex got a DUI felony with my daughter in the car. When I go for help, nobody helps me. Nobody listens. I'd call the local media, not that they're going to do anything, but I'd find some way to let people know that you as a father with genuine concern for your child, who, if you as a mother that was fighting against this, would have every resource known to man available to you and would get the kid back like that. Yeah, I'd make a stink out of it. I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
When I was going through my divorce, my paperwork said that if I had a beer within, and I don't even drink, but if I had a beer within 12 hours of being around my kids, I would lose them. The attack on fathers. I mean, this is just so black and white, just the war on fathers. She gets nailed for a DUI with the kid in the car. Not even by herself. She has her kid in her car, and nothing's going to happen. And someone had commented about the DAs are supposed to prosecute the cases. I don't want to be blunt. I don't want this to come across as rude, but this is not Matlock. DAs routinely do not take these kinds of cases because 90+% of the time, women are their bread and butter. That's what's going to happen, and they're not going to touch it. I don't know. I keep thinking, as far as if you have to step back and step into court, I would almost say to go pro se and represent yourself. I mean, the forms are all free. They're basically point and click. Most people's cases aren't that weird, and if you're going to have to do it, to go that route. But then the flip side of that is, the judges usually award the winner to whoever contributes the most to their reelection campaign. So you've got that issue. I mean, there's counties here that if you don't have a certain lawyer from a certain firm, you will not win in that courtroom.
So if you see that channel right there that's commenting on here, Father X, how fathers can win custody. I know Father X. He's been putting out a lot of good pro se stuff that you guys can go and check out. I'll be honest with you. I'm stupid when it comes to that process, and I'm becoming more and more sour on all of it because my thing is the more that we keep playing into it and trying to play it by their rules, the more they just keep changing the game.
Right. Oh yeah.
And at some point we just got to say enough of the BS, dude. If we got to take a pause and to say for the greater good that we're not going to put our foot inside this system, we're going to start these attorneys and that they're going to see this uproar of dads. That's the way I'd really like to see it. I know that can be a pipe dream. It can be a pipe dream, but we've got to do something. But for the guys, again, pro se, I mean, that case should be cut and dry, man.
Should be. Yeah, it shouldn't even be a court case. It should just be a done deal. Because if it would have happened the other way, he would never see his kid again. It would have been over.
And that's why I love the media that I'm doing. What I would like to do is get stories like that, but get them by the dozen.
Right.
And then show little clips of everybody that it's happening to so we can put it out there. What the system's always been good at in the media and everybody in society is that these cases are isolated and they're not happening as much as we know that they are.
Right.
And so you're not going to have major funding or for research or to go put a spotlight on these cases, which leaves it up to us in order to be able to do it. And let me tell you guys, it's not as hard as it sounds. We can do it if we have your help. I'm willing to do it. I can do it. I'm telling you, I know nothing special, but I can do it. And I would love to do it. I think coming on here today, one was to get some of the rust off because I was very rusty on that podcast with Dan and Don the other day, plus intimidated. They're
right. Yeah.
Yeah. But just to let you guys know that we haven't went anywhere and we got to re-strategize. It's hard to walk away from a platform. I've been busting my ass, we're close to 1 million followers now. Very close to 1 million followers. I want you to follow us over somewhere that we can actually organize. And it's not going to be YouTube. It's not going to be Facebook. It's not going to be these places where you got to watch what you say. It's hard to walk away from, but I can either keep doing the same thing and expect different results, or we can start it where it needs to be started. And, I'd say the majority of these cases, these callers that are calling in, you could say that same scenario. If they were the woman, how would this have played out? But then we get looked at as people that have victim mentality. No, it's the damn truth, man.
Right.
It was the mom that was going through these stories that you're hearing these dads say. We wouldn't even be having this discussion. But I will tell you, feminist moms, it's lasted for you for a good while. The cause an issue that we was talking at the very beginning is starting to overrule you. So when you get these callers and it sounds crazy where the guy's like, what if I identify as a woman? There's a reason why, as asinine as that sounds, guys are starting to say stuff like that. Pandora's box is about to be opened, Dwayne.
Yeah.
I know it's already open somewhat, but it's about to be open even more. And I just want to get our people prepared, because right now it's our kids that are suffering. It really is. It's our kids that are suffering. We are suffering as a nation, our families, everybody attached. It is like there is a brainwashing going on with the whole world. Dude, I was going to town the other day. I live near one of the bigger Army bases in the country, Fort Benning. And I'm going down this sign and I'm seeing Fort Moore. And I'm like, what the hell is Fort Moore?
Yeah.
They've even renamed all the Army bases. Everything. We got to change everything from the to the top to the bottom. You may think that's not connected. It's connected.
Oh, yeah.
Every bit of this. Like I said, the fathers, I believe, was one of the big main targets that they had to go after in order to be able to pull off the agenda that we are seeing happen right now. Well, they've done that. They're continuing to do that.
Oh, yeah.
Retroactive child support's coming here. You guys think we can't organize now? Wait until that crap hits. Wait.
Oh, yeah.
They're not going to have time to call up on Dad Talk and say, this is what's going on with me. Dude, you lose 5 minutes of work. You're going to have that retroactive child support smacking you in the face. So you think we can't organize now? It's about to get worse. I'm here because I believe in it and want to see a change, but there's times, Dwayne, I don't know what to say, man. You know what I mean?
I feel you. I mean, it's you see the issue, you see how it can be fixed. It's just getting the resources, the people, the finances, all those different parts of it to get it done. I mean, you went on faith a number of times. Personally, I mean, just being totally honest, I don't know how you do it. I mean, you go out on faith. I don't know if it's the preacher's son coming through or what, but you go out on faith a lot. And
I don't like being told it can't be done.
You're more thick-headed than I am.
I picked the one issue where it's very hard to prove that. You know, I don't like being told it can't be done because I know it can be done, dude. I mean, we have more people that call in and send messages though that we have showing up and, you know, participating in shows and other stuff. Yeah. That's what, like, again, work. There's so many other variables that go through. Mm-hmm. But we've got to change that. We've got to change that, or you're going to see resources like, dude, I'm a very hard-headed MFer, like Dwayne's just talking about. And there's been times for me, it's just like, I am not doing this anymore. And it's just going to wear people out. Support from our brothers and our mothers, you know, the Jules and everybody else that we got in here.
Yeah.
Sabrina. It goes a long way. It goes a long way. I'm doing my best at, you know, and we're traveling around the country so we can go to the location, turn on that camera and say, look for yourself. I'm not going to quit it. I think, like I said, I think we're in the environment right now where it would be a good time to strategize and get these things going. But we can only go as fast as what we've got to do it with. These stories that you heard today, that you heard for the past year, 2 years, 3 years, are not going anywhere, guys. I'm not trying to preach doom and gloom on you. They're not going anywhere.
Reality.
It is absolutely the reality. And I have to step away. When I hear retroactive child support and guys like Dwayne and me are getting on the screen saying, wake up. And there's nothing, dude, crickets. The things that need to be said the most usually affect people the least. That is frustrating. That is one of the most dangerous things, guys.
Yeah, I included it in the last video on the YouTube channel on retroactive child support. I had been beating a hammer on that thing for the previous 8-9 months, providing all kinds of data, the information, dissecting the bill, telling people, and then giving them the links to go. They don't even have to go down there to offer the opposition. All they would have had to do is click a link which I provided, and they could have wrote 3,000 up to 3,000 words of why they don't want to have it. One person did it out of 29 million Texans. And I'm saying these numbers because I researched the numbers after it all went down. 29 million Texans, one person sent their opposition. You know who that person was? You're sharing a screen with them right now. But in September, when that bill passes, and it's going to pass, all these people are going to be getting letters in the mail telling them to show up to court to pay 9 months of retroactive child support, the diapers, and you name it. They're going to get it'll probably be roughly a $10,000 child support, and they're going to be named even if they weren't the daddy. And then they're going to be, well, what can we do about it? It's too late. It's in the law.
Mm.
And for me, I just couldn't do it anymore. I tried so hard. Just can't do it. Oh, let's see. Todd, actually about 1 million. I guess we're talking about how many people.
Yeah, the Instagram, dude. The Instagram is doing better than the Facebook ever has, with nowhere near. Well, we went up 170,000 followers in the past 2 months. So that's
wow,
dude. The Instagram is doing what the Facebook used to do. And for those, if you're not aware, and I'll tell the advocates that are here on Facebook, it's hard to put your time into something and watch it go away. I was very early on in MySpace. I was a master at MySpace. I had a very big music promotion company there. And then Facebook came along, and I was the last person on MySpace, dude, sitting there talking to myself. Things come and then they go. Facebook's had a good run. They're not over, but they're not what they used to be.
Right.
And just because you got 1 million, 2 million, 3 million followers doesn't mean that everyone is
bots.
active. Yeah.
Yeah.
It could be,
They're all bots
showing up there on the damn thing today, trying to tell the guys to send them emails and stuff. But no, there's real people. But you got so many different variables. Again, is somebody at work? Is somebody at home? Are they where they can access it? Are they even seeing the notification? And then when they don't notify people, it makes it even worse. Yeah. Instagram is killing it, dude. In the past 30 days, we reached 63 million people. Wow. So you're not seeing the viewership on Facebook, but I released a video about Younger's case like 3 days ago that's sitting at 1.3 million views right now. And so, but that's not what it's about. We built over on Facebook. I can't do this on Instagram. So I don't want to leave these guys behind. But what I'm saying is, I guess now I could say, hey, we're killing it over here. I'm going to go put all my efforts over here. Now go to the Substack. Because I know what happens is you keep getting these trends. Did you see that Minnesota banned TikTok the other day?
Yeah. They're the first state in the entire nation to ban TikTok. I've been talking about that too.
That's coming.
Yeah.
They've been wanting to do it for a while. And so I can understand it to an extent. But one thing that TikTok does seem to be good about over the other platforms is if you make a video that resonates with people, you can go viral overnight.
Yeah.
I had several videos brand new that got like 500,000 views a piece on TikTok, and I was brand new on there. And I was like, dude, you're telling me that I can reach more people on something that I just started than the ones that I've been doing all my work on all these years. Right. And that's what people are sick of social media. And this is why this is a failed example of how we organize as a movement. I don't want to leave being able to get in touch with you guys when something important is going on to an algorithm that that might show it to you or may not show it to you. As a content creator, that doesn't work.
Right.
It doesn't work because there's a lot of hard work that goes into doing this type of stuff, guys. So when I ask you to go and subscribe over there to that Substack, I'm not begging you, but I'm begging you. Like, let's get it away. Let's get it away. Yeah, the memes and stuff are still flowing on there just because that keeps the page active. And if you don't keep the page active, you get penalized on that too. I don't have anything to do with that. My attention's been full head on trying to get that new content coming. And it's getting there.
Well, you're one person. It's only so much a handful of people can do.
Yeah. When I say these things, I really say it for the betterment of the movement. If you can't see the decline of what dude, 2-3 years ago on Facebook was killing it.
Yeah.
Everybody was killing it. Because that's where everybody was. I think what happens is a lot of the boomers and the older generation made their way.
Hey
to
now.
Facebook, and the kids was like, hey, like, I don't want mom and daddy seeing what I'm doing. I'm going to Instagram.
Right.
Then
Yep.
I'm going to go to TikTok. So you're seeing some of these platforms become passe. I think Facebook had its worst year ever last year. At the end of last year, it was struggling, dude.
Oh yeah.
They lost 2/3 of their overall profit in 1 year.
Well, they've uncovered a lot of the things were bots. They invested heavily in the Quest Meta platform, which I'm a user. They've made some other questions, and then of course the banning, the suppression, and all that's coming back around. I mean, now people are realizing that they've suppressed a lot of information. They're still doing it, but not as bad, and doing it in other areas. But people are starting to realize it, and they can go on TikTok and get that instant, blah 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 on their face, and that's what people are going to. They're going to that 5 seconds of whatever, and that's what they're consuming.
It's weird things. Like, I like testing it out all the time. I'll give you guys some little insider tricks. Like, when I was talking about the younger case, I typed up a message the other day, put it on Facebook, let it sit there for 2 hours. I think the insights was like 20 people that saw it, maybe like 7 people had liked it, and I was like, bull crap, dude, because I know. So what I did, so the algorithm couldn't pick it up, I took a snapshot of it. Took a snapshot of it and posted it as a picture instead of text.
Right.
Went
Boom.
bananas immediately.
Yeah.
And so it's little things like that. There's trigger words in there that if you put that in there, and we probably said every one of them on this podcast, they'll say, don't show this to anybody.
Yeah.
And we can either be PC and clean it up and then not say it, or we can say, you know what, I'm not going to let you take my voice away from me. And I'm not, dude. When I was there at that Capitol, and when just sitting down again talking to Jeff Younger, dude, more and more guilt came over me. It's like, what are you doing, dude? You're one of the fighters. You're one of the rebels. You're against this type of stuff. You can't be afraid to get your hands dirty. And I'm not, dude. I'm not. I want to be able to fight it. Several people have told me not to touch the subject. Why?
Yeah. Well, some of it's just the cancel culture. They already have been. I don't know if you want to go into that, but yeah, people have already voiced their opposition to your message because it threatens what they want to do. Equal shared parenting, the conversion discussion, custody exchanges, who's actually responsible for a lot of this stuff. The big tech corporations, they have a certain message they want everyone to hear and see.
What does it say about, a third party, entity, corporation like that having that much power? They can almost control, like, if we say that there's certain things that you can't talk about, or if you do, this is going to be the consequences. Is that not controlling the narrative?
Yeah, that's exactly it. And if people think, oh, that's, tinfoil hat, I mean, let's talk to our brothers in Canada. There's a word that we've been throwing around here a little bit, that if you say that word or you say anything about that topic, you get a $25,000 fine, double the price or double the cost of committing adult on child stuff. It's insane. I mean, and that's in Canada right now. They passed a law coming to a country near you.
You really want to ride the line of, right and wrong right now? What's that punch in boxing? Like, if I go straight up.
1-2? Oh, the jab.
Yeah. Try talking about that.
Oh, yeah.
Talking about that and see what happens. And for a long time, there's conspiracy theories that push back on that. I mean, to the point that Rogan was taking horse dewormer.
Yeah.
And I've never, dude, you got to give it to independent media. Independent media is becoming stronger. That's why I say we have the power to do that. Look at how Rogan pushed back at that. Dude, even to the point of having that guy from CNN on his show, and was like, how does it make you feel knowing your network said this? A medication that won the Nobel Peace Prize, that's been prescribed billions of times. But that's what we're talking about with this media and these corporations and how they can control that narrative. And it's these medias and these corporations that have not gave fathers a voice.
Yeah.
And so dads give up, get depressed, feel lonely. Yes, it sucks, but there's nothing we can do about it. Bull Bull crap, dude. Yes, we
Right.
can. Just don't give power back to these guys.
Yeah, they did it with a beer can. I mean, it can be done. Weird that it took a beer can to do it, but it can be done.
Do you like Bud Light?
No, it always gave me a headache. I was more of a Miller Lite guy if I ever drank any. But yeah, never been a Bud Light. That tastes like it was strained through someone that drank a Miller Lite.
I hate to say this because I'm proud of my country, but I was never an American beer fan anyway. I was in the Heinekens, and I don't drink, but
Yeah.
I did. I was a Heineken or a what do you call it? And you got to be careful because even though you might be like, I am boycotting Bud Light, well, do you know who all they own? You got like 20 other brands out there.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, I'm from St. Louis, Missouri originally, so that's where Anheuser-Busch, that's one of their strongholds. So, I mean, yeah, that's I mean, whenever we would have our floods, the Anheuser-Busch would donate cases of water. They would convert their beer manufacturing over to water to give it to us as we were going there putting in sand bags and stuff, trying to keep the waters from flooding houses and areas back in my younger days. But yeah, what they've but it's not just Bud Light, it's all of Anheuser-Busch, it's all those companies. But yeah, it's just amazing that it took something like that, and people can make a difference. People, right, wrong, or indifferent, they said, you know what, Bud is doing a message that we don't like, and we're going to vote with our pocketbooks.
It's
Need more of it.
crazy how they're just trying to shove this stuff down our throats, man. And then the ones that would speak up against it, those are the ones you don't hear from.
Yeah.
I mean, it's evident when you're seeing the numbers, like I said, that we're getting. And then when we get out the message, it goes silent. But I will tell you, I am proud of everybody that's tuning in today.
Oh, yeah.
I've been sitting here watching. Subscribe to Substack. Subscribe to. It's just been dinging every couple of seconds on here.
Can we put the link on there? I don't have.
I did.
We did. Okay.
Yeah, I'll do it again, man. Make sure you get over there. I'm still trying to figure out how I'm going to structure everything. I know when the documentaries come out, you will have to be a member to access those. Everything is free on there except those and the monthly meeting. I'm doing a monthly meetup with parents. I'm in there too, just making a space where we can all come together and talk without fear of being judged or anything. You know, I started off the past two that we had, like, you agree that nothing that you hear in here will be repeated outside of this. This is people talking. You do not have permission to repeat anything that you hear, because I want these guys to have a safe space to talk. For so many of these guys, being able to say what's on their mind, everything is used against them.
Yeah.
And there's so many emotions that we need to process. And the only way that we can really help our brothers is if we do it ourselves, because so many, I've heard from so many of these guys that end up going to therapists or counselors because they're looking for somewhere for help. And then everything they do is used against them, man. And that's the reason why we're having such a hard time getting some of these guys motivated. This is a way to remotivate you guys, to feel a part of something, to know that you are not alone.
Mm-hmm.
So I beg you, I got it down there, dadtalktoday.substack.com. My biggest fear is, I like that. Mr. John Brown said, Substack for Dad Talk Today is the new underground railroad for dads. That's it, dude.
Ooh. You're the Harriet Tubman of the movement.
Harriet
Tubman. Harriet Tubman. She was the main lady. Boy, I'm hoping I'm not goofing my history up. But yeah, Harriet Tubman, she was the kind of the leader of the underground railroad.
Right. I just don't see myself as a Harriet Tubman.
Nah.
I'm gonna tell you, if I had to say something to the movement right now, guys like Jeff Younger, that's where a lot of my respect went to, dude. I'm telling you, like, watching, that's how you get movement. Somebody that's willing to stand in front of them and do the things that he did. It gave me a nut check, dude. Like, when I was watching him, with Antifa and every one of those guys, my balls just kept getting smaller.
Yeah, and he stands there. It's a Tuesday for him.
Balls. Yeah, dude. Didn't flinch one bit. And, you know, I've had the talk with him. And the sad thing is, I don't want it to mean or sound like I'm putting down anybody or any of the advocacies. I'm not. I am proud of every single one of you. But when I sit down and talk to people who know the strategy behind what needs to be done, he's at the very top, dude. That's a smart guy. But even him, you know, he got completely shunned by the churches and a lot of the politicians.
Yep.
It's like if a guy like that had resources, could you imagine a Jeff Younger and a Carnell Smith having resources and being able to lead a charge?
Well, the Republican Party. The Republican Party already knew that answer. That's why they put $300,000 against his opponent.
Absolutely, dude. $3 million.
$3 million. Sorry,
it was that easy. It was that easy for him too. You need money to beat him. Here you go. $3 million. Could you imagine what we could do with $3 million?
It'd be over.
I would give them the biggest black eye they've ever had in their life. But can't. So here comes another one. You guys haven't heard me talk about this in a while. Jules Pruitt said, "Hey, Eric, pizza, tried any new ones lately?" I did. Have you ever been to Chicago, Dwayne?
I have been.
Have you ate the Chicago pizza? I
have had the Chicago pizza. I will just say, and I saw it mentioned earlier in the comments that the Square Beyond Compare, Emo's Pizza beats it. But that's my personal opinion.
Dude, so I had a couple of different ones when I was in Chicago. And my first experience was the best. And it might be one of the best experiences with pizza I've ever had. That Lou Malnati's is off the chain, dude. It took us like an hour to get it. But it's, even though it's a deep dish, it's like a cracker crust.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man.
Little slice of heaven.
Pizzas between two of us. We ate the whole thing. I was like, oh my God, dude, this was ridiculous. So after that, we was like, man, we was going to go try something else later on tonight, but let's go get another pizza.
You were able to eat again?
Later. Yeah, because we did that at like 10 o'clock in the morning.
Okay.
Flying in from Dallas.
Yeah, that stuff sits pretty heavy. I mean,
well, that one wasn't as bad. It's not as, you know, as a deep dish, it's not as bad as you would think because, like I said, it's more like a cracker crust. It's not really bready.
Okay.
So the next one that a lot of the locals was saying that you need to go try this place called Pequod's. And dude, they told us it'd be 45 minutes to get the pizza. Hour and a half later, we're getting it. It was horrible, dude. It was like a sponge. It was like this much bread with a very thin layer of sauce and hardly no cheese. And that ruined me on Chicago pizza, dude. If you go there, I think Malnati's is the place to go. But it was some of the best pizza I've ever had.
Man. Yeah. You gotta see if they deliver. Emo's actually, you can actually have it mailed to you. I've thought about doing it, and the $200 cover charge. I said, I'll wait till I get back there. But yeah, for me, it's just Emo's. Again, that's what I grew up with. But yeah, Chicago style pizza is some good stuff there. They know what they're doing.
Well, so now I've had the New York, I've had the New Jersey, I've had the Boston, I've had the Chicago. I'm gonna tell you, that Malnati's is at the top of the list. But dude, there's a place in Atlanta that is probably still on the top of my list. You think Atlanta's not known for it, but there was a guy that went over to Italy to learn how to make it. He's got one of 3 pizza ovens that exist in the world. The other 2 are in Italy. The other one's in Atlanta. He has a plane that goes once a week and gets all of his ingredients from Italy, brings them over.
Wow.
Yeah, dude. It's called Antico. So there's you guys a good recommendation. If you're in any of those areas, don't get me talking about pizza because I'm on a diet now.
I was going to ask, how's the diet going?
I have lost 14 pounds this past week.
Okay.
I've been doing really good. You know, as we was talking about TRT, you know, I did my first round of TRT last month, and I didn't realize just how much for us men, low T affects us. So I didn't think it was really working until it wasn't working.
Right.
Dude, when it stopped, oh my God, man. No energy. Sex drive completely gone. Like, I mean, trying to get everything. It affected even I couldn't be doing
clarity.
This. Dude, I couldn't do the podcast right now. I was getting in the middle of sentences and just like forgetting my words in the middle of it.
Yep.
So I went back. I just got my second round and it's starting to kick again. So it was helping me. But yeah, I got on the diet, back in the gym. Dude, living on the road is hard.
Oh, yeah.
Living on the road is hard. It's very hard to eat right. And when you're on the go, Like my camera guy, dude, bless his heart. I don't think he's ever been through anything like that. We would wake up at 7, 8 o'clock in the morning. We weren't going to sleep until midnight or 1 in the morning. It was go, go, go the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
And you could tell there at the end, it was really wearing on him. But he had never seen anything like it too. So it's very hard to eat right. And I packed on some pounds. I don't like that at all. But it seems like it's coming back, and I enjoyed getting to come and talk to you guys today. I guess this is the point in time where we jump the shark and we're talking about pizza and low T. But I will say, that's just another PSA for you guys out there. Consult with your doctor. They need to tell you what to do. But as a recommendation, I will tell you, as a guy that has suffered from low T, if you haven't checked into TRT, one of the best things that ever happened to me.
Do it.
Oh yeah, dude. Do it. It's amazing. So maybe we can do this again next Saturday. I want to do it more, but let me tell you what happens with me. I'll be like, oh, dude, that was fun. Let's go do it again. And I'll get 1 week through it and like, shit. Like I got to wake up and talk and be social. I hate it.
Well, I mean, maybe leave the voicemail out and have people, call in, leave their voicemails, ideas for a show, areas to talk about. Maybe have a nerd cast where we talk about something that's not 100% father related or parental parent related. I can brag about my new Transformers I got. I mean, there was all kinds of stuff. A lot of stuff out there. It's been so long, my back area has changed a little bit. So,
well, I was never a big fan of Transformers. I hate to say that, but you're talking about how politics are getting involved in it. And Dwayne, it's pretty obvious in the name. It's Transformer. Transformer. So, anyway, I'll save it the Turtles.
Actually, they're
ninjas.
Yeah, isn't the new movie coming out? Isn't there a new movie for Ninja Turtles? Oh, yeah.
I saw the trailer for it. Why can't they just go back to the original crew and do it the way it's supposed to be done? They mess it up every single time. The Ninja Turtles, our generation needs it nowadays. Need it. They were amazing.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, dude. I saw the trailer to it and was like, it's not me.
Yeah. Have you seen someone mentioned the Guardians of the Galaxy? Have you seen that one yet?
So I'd say it's been about 2 years ago. I was really into the whole Marvel thing.
Right.
Yeah, I think it really started hitting me after the first Thor, because Thor was like one of my favorite movies, and so was the first Avengers. Yeah. And then they started releasing them like every couple of months. And then I was burned out on it. I was like, dude, enough of this. And my wife still loves them. She wants to watch them. I'm like, I have absolutely no interest in it.
Well, I will tell you, the wife, myself, and the youngest went to go see Guardians Thursday night, and I will just say, great movie. Did a great job on it. Transmission. Good job, Mike. Yeah. I cried like 4 times. I'm telling you, your emotion chip has to be turned off to watch this movie. But great music. The whole thing was awesome. I joke about my wife's evolution because when I first met her, she thought that all this stuff was dumb. Star Wars was dumb, and Transformers, all that stuff was just dumb. Didn't understand it at all. And then slowly over time, she's gotten more invested. She would say, why are you like mad that this guy in a black suit with a light up sword just killed some old guy? And I try to explain it to her. Well, she's watching it and she's like, you can hear her breathing a little weird and stuff at different times. And then she's like, this movie's dumb. If they do, and I'm not going to spoil it for anybody, but if this one scene happens, I'm going to scream at the camera and I'm going to walk out of this place. So she's gotten 100% invested in all the stuff. But I again recommend going to see Guardians. It was a great movie. We were joking as we were walking out. We're like, that movie's dumb, stupid. Can't believe they did that, because there was some scenes that were hit the feelers. And actually, I would say for all parents, there was 1 or 2 scenes in particular that really got there. But
Didn't Disney buy out Marvel?
they believe they did. Yeah, they did a couple years ago, or 10 years. I don't know when it was. Yeah, so they now, they own all of that,
That's scary, dude.
and they're, I mean, well, we've
Watch
got
out for the next upcoming film, Spider Pronoun.
Oh
We
yeah,
already made She-Hulk.
yeah. Well, She-Hulk bombed thing. Well, they could have, if they would have kept to the original She-Hulk, it would have been a great series. But they, of course, feminazied the heck out of it and woke the whole thing. That's another thing too. Is with movies, that's another area people can run. They can vote with their pocketbooks. I mean, if a movie goes against morals, principles, don't go to it. There's been a couple movies that I would love to see, but because of what's happening with it, I just have to walk away.
Yeah.
And
Have
there's
you
a couple.
seen Mario Brothers?
I have seen Mario Brothers. Yes,
What's your thoughts on that?
it was decent. I mean, the kids loved, and I say the kids, 22 on down to 17, loved it. I thought it was pretty good. They did a pretty decent job of kind of doing what they could with the movie.
It was definitely better than the 90s version they tried to bring out.
Oh gosh, yeah, then that whole thing that happened with Luigi, whatever his name is, he was in like the John Wick films, where he's like he wouldn't go see it because of you're just sitting there watching it going what? But yeah, they did a much better job in the 90s version of Mario Brothers. Yeah, I'm excited. Obviously, Transformers Beast Wars is coming out here in the next couple weeks, so. I have not watched any of the spoilers or teaser trailers because I just want to go in there, and all I know is Michael Bay is not doing this one, so it can't be that bad.
Yeah,
I'm just hoping. I mean, they're going to have Unicron in it, so I'm pumped about that. Unicron's the world eating. So I got two of them. There we go. Oh, pop my shoulder. But yeah, back. That's one of my Unicrons, and over here is my other one. But it's a world eater. I always tell everybody, watch the 1986 movie. It'll give you the all there. But Beast Wars is coming out, and actually, did you see John Wick, the last one?
I've never watched John Wick.
Oh, man card, give it up. No, you have not watched John Wick
until about 10 years ago. I think I had never watched any of the Star Wars. So, and then I watched, about all the Lord of the Rings about 10 years after it came out. There's certain ones of those, if they don't appeal to me, I'll wait. And then usually when I'm watching them, I'm like, oh, dude, that was really good. Like, I wish I would have paid attention to it while it was out. But I mean, I could see myself supporting John Wick because Keanu Reeves seems like a really amazing guy, dude.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. They've done a lot of articles on him. Actually, he just beat I don't know if it was a spoof or whatever, but he just beat a rap where a woman had accused him of fathering 4 of her adult children. And again, retroactive child support coming to a town near you. And he was able to beat that with DNA testing. So that state allowed that to happen. But yeah, he's a super nice guy, but he's actually smart. He doesn't take pictures where he touches anybody, so he doesn't get nailed for that. And some of the other stories that have come out, he's just a super nice guy. But yeah, him and the John Wick movies, I loved it. Wife hates them for some reason, but
I'm still waiting on Wayne's World 3.
it's coming. They're talking about
it for years.
Yeah. I mean, they've been doing it soon. Michael Myers is getting a little old there. And then Dana Carvey, Dana
Carvey. Know what the holdup on that was, right?
No.
Carvey and Myers didn't get along.
Oh, okay, that's weird.
So the whole Austin Powers thing with Dr. Evil.
Right.
Myers actually stole that from Dana Carvey.
Ew.
That was Dana Carvey's invention, and it was his impression of Lorne Michaels from Saturday Night Live. He did Dr. Evil.
Yeah.
Austin Powers came out, and he was doing Dr. Evil. It pissed Dana Carvey off a little bit. Rightfully so.
Yeah.
Dude, you go back into some of that. This is what I love about comedians like Dana Carvey, though. But the times before it was political and woke and PC and all that. Like, he made fun of everybody. Yeah. He did great impressions, too.
George Bush. He was on SNL. He was George Bush. Yeah, I mean, for the younger folk out there, go back and watch SNL from like 1980, let's just say 1990 back. Much different. And it was okay. It was fun. There wasn't none of this nonsense we have today. That's why I watch Tubi TV all the time anymore, because it has all the old shows on there and you could watch it and it was okay.
That's me and the wife's point of contention. She likes to watch like new stuff, and I'm always trying to pick 80s movies.
Yeah.
Like, I want to watch something new. I'm like, I don't.
Have you watched Rabbit Hole yet with Kiefer Sutherland? Oh, it's on I think it's on Paramount Plus, but it's called Rabbit Hole, and it's a great series. It's just the one series that's out, or the one season. But he's like a does like espionage kind of stuff. It just did a great job on it. I mean, it'll be a binge watch for sure. Great movie, or great TV series. I like pretty much everything. Good. Oh, Church Lady, Satan. Oh gosh, yeah. Back in the day, remember Church Lady? She'd walk out, and call everybody a sinner, and you're fornicating with your lady parts.
Well, keeping in theme with the show and how we started out, I was thinking about this the other day. SNL made a movie back in the 90s that just would not be allowed now.
Okay.
You remember It's Pat?
Oh, God, yes. That would
Nothing shows you how times have changed in the last 2 decades. You would not be allowed to do It's Pat.
Oh, yeah. It's Pat would never see the light of day. That, and what was that movie that came out that they went after Iron Man guy on? Tropic Thunder. Would never. Wouldn't happen
on that.
There were so many.
Never go full retard.
Yeah. Yeah. There were so many lines from the classic lines that would never. Yeah, it's almost like you want to sit one of these kids down and make them watch Archie Bunker for an episode and just watch their heads explode. They couldn't handle it. I mean, or In Living Color. I mean, that was 90s.
It's gotten to a point. I've seen a lot of the comedian shows where people would get up in the middle of them, either start screaming at them or throwing stuff at them.
Yeah.
It's like a comedian's supposed to put you down.
Right.
And if you get up to walk out or something, you knew better than that, because they're going to point at you and they're going to say something.
Yeah.
We're not even going to be allowed to be funny anymore.
Oh, yeah. Comedians have been, that's where we have to, it's an outlet. We have to be able to make fun of it. Yeah. To go to, I think I remember watching Andrew Dice Clay one time. Some lady got offended and got up and of course got into a whatever, and she of course lost. But you go to see Andrew Dice Clay, and then you get offended when he says something. I'm like, are you kidding me? It's just ridiculous. I'm seeing all these comments here and loving it.
Right, I want to leave everybody with a laugh today. I'm going to pull up something. Have you ever seen when Jim Carrey Carrey's went a little off his rocker in his later days too, but there was this one thing where he was on Saturday Night Live. Every so often, as I'm going through the reels, I'll see something that just makes me laugh my butt off. But there was one where they was doing, you remember in the 90s, like how you would get the mixtapes and stuff on the commercials. Like right now, the best hits of the 80s.
Oh, yeah. Solid Gold and all that. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they had this skit that they was doing where it was like the failed people. You remember the show Soul Train?
Oh, God. Soul
like
Train.
The worst embarrassments of the Soul Train. So they're going through there and these singers are singing their hits. I'm going to tell you, everybody bombed on it. It was so horrible, except for Jim Carrey. When it came to him, he sounded just like one of these R&B singers, dude. And I haven't laughed this hard in a while. This is something me and my wife have been singing ever since we saw it. I got to share it with you guys. It'd be a good note to go out on.
Oh, yeah.
Been such a long, long time. And when you're in bed,
My heart doesn't shine. So I got to ask before we start. It's a question straight from my heart. Can I see one today? Oh, girl, just give me one today.
That was my favorite part. I just want to dude, that was one of the best kids I've ever seen. And you remember in the 90s, that's how a lot of the R&B did. Hey there, girl. You know, I just want to love on you. Just come over to daddy. I just want to see one of your titties, girl.
Oh God, that's hilarious.
It's really good content when you watch it in the dad talk. Remember, you thought "Ship My Pants."
Shit my pants, yeah. See, for the guys that are hanging out, you guys stay till the end. It's like Marvel. At the very end, you get that, you know, funny ending or whatever. That's it. Maybe we should do a like a skit at and insert like something from the 70s, 80s, 90s or something like that into the end, just to, you know, keep it light and light, because there's a lot of stuff out there. Oh God. That just reminded me. I mean, that's where I got the comment that I make to my wife now when she gets in the bathtub.
Dude, it's every morning when I wake up. That's what I see one of them titties, girl.
Titties. I am so gonna get beat after this show.
Yeah, dude, it's amazing. It's amazing. All right, guys, we are going to wrap this up for today. It was good being with you. I do believe Dwayne and Jimmy will be back tomorrow for the big show.
Big show.
The big show, man. It's been doing really good. You guys make sure to go and support that show. I always say, if you listen to Jimmy, you don't have to listen to me. He's being proactive. And you listen to me, you're reactive. You're screwed.
Yeah.
You know, that's by the time you're
Good
in the
point.
system. Jimmy's got some good advice, dude. He's really got some great advice. He's really helped me out too, and getting myself back on track. And part of the reason I'm losing the weight and getting into the shape that I am. So the pizza was not his idea. That was mine. When I didn't listen to Jimmy, I paid for it.
Right. Yeah, it happens. You're back though.
Yeah. All right, guys. dadtalktoday.substack.com. Get over there. Somebody asked me when the Younger documentary is going to come out. We are trying to get that out as soon as we can. It's hard because if I was a major studio and I had a major budget, there's probably a lot more that I would add to it. But I think we got enough to go ahead and put it together. And just to kind of give you guys a glimpse into what we got. Again, there's going to be nothing like I Stand With John. I'm proud of that one. It was the first one we made, but I had to use a lot of stock footage and stuff like that because we didn't have the money to go around shooting all the stuff that we needed. This one, there's drones, the whole 9 yards. Like every bit of this was shot by us. So I think you're really going to enjoy it. And it's real life, dude. You can listen to me talk about what went down at the Capitol, or you can go watch it for yourself. So I will try to get that out. And if you're over on the Substack, you'll probably be notified before anybody. I think a couple of days ago, I advertised that we were going to be doing this show today on Substack and opened up the phone lines. So if you want that extra little perk, make sure to get over there, because I love talking to you guys. And it feels like the more that we stay over here, the less of you I get to see. So, all right. With that being said, we'll do it again soon, man.
Till next time.
All right, guys. Hey, everybody. Eric Carroll here. Thank you for tuning in to another exciting episode of Dad Talk Today. While we fight for you, we would ask for you to please help fight for us. Like, subscribe to our channel, and ring that bell so you get notifications every time we go live. There's also Super Chats, patreon.com/dadtalktoday, and other ways you can support our channel. Thank you for being here, and we will see